Don't go away from our broadcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. Welcome to Tarnation TV. We are back at the High Voltage Racing League here at the end of April. Next week it'll be May. So that'll be cool. We're going to Mexico City next week. But right now, we are at Talladega Super Speedway. People love this track. Tons of drivers showed up for it. We had to do knockout qualifying. So we got a full field tonight and then some. Unfortunately, some drivers will be sitting on the sidelines, but this should be a fun race. It's a full field and a lot of really cool cars. This is the Autism 400, 96 laps on the clock. My name is Blaine Donlin, joined by Rod Weston. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back to Maverick again. You know, it's kind of funny how last week, Tuesday I get out. We didn't race. They didn't race last week, so you show up, kind of sit in front of the computer on Tuesday and go, now what do I do? Because we didn't have anything to do. We didn't have. Wow, you and I know what we did. We played Bell Hunt, but as far as points go, it hasn't changed much. Josh Mercurio's still out in front. He's got a 86 point lead over Pablo Victor. Mercurio's just had so far a pretty decent season. Last year's champion Jack Merkel, he's down there 8th, and he is currently 184 points behind. Don't knock him out, don't count him out, because we still got what? Oh gosh, we still have like 18 races to go. So there's plenty of racing to go on. So looking forward to Talladega in the booth where I like to be. Can't stay on the track myself, but I'm gonna be out there on Thursday pretty soon and trying it with RTG. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's the full house is always cool here too.
Yeah.
Once you get up around over 30 guys, it's a whole different show. And this is a different sort of show, too, from what we're used to calling. Usually, they'll run... What am I trying to say here? Usually, they will run the CTS physics, the Truck Series physics.
Yep.
So tonight, because this is the Maverick Cup Series, it does not matter what track they're running. They always run Cup physics. So tonight... a little bit different, a little bit slower speeds because restrictor plates are in play. Cars can't get above, I think it's 7,000 RPM. That's where they cap out. So it'll seem a little tiny bit slower this evening just because we're so used to the CTS physics and having no plates.
And 1X pit, so they'll be going. Yes. But being the Cup Series and back in this day back then, trying to figure out ways to introduce like more pitting, different strategy into it. They only had 13-gallon fuel cells, so when you run the Cup physics, you only have a 13-gallon fuel cell, which should get you around 38 laps, they say, but. We'll see. It's not as familiar to us because pretty much everybody else runs the CTS physics because it sucks the cars up a lot better. It makes for better racing. Like as you were talking about, the restrictor plate, it makes it hard to kind of suck up to a car. So if you have to lift for any reason whatsoever, you really have to kind of tighten up that rubber band a little bit more to get caught back up to that car in front of you.
Yeah, it's a different style, right? Like they're so used to the one way, and then this is it's still a great physics set. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Cup physics, but yeah, it is going to be weird because Talladega being such a popular track in the area of the community that we reside in, nobody runs a Cup physics here except for Maverick, so it's a completely different monster, and it's but it's still a 2.66 mile track. It's still a super speedway, so we're still going to be 3-4 wide around this thing today. So. Yeah, tonight's sponsor, too, we can't, they're in qualifying right now. Tonight's sponsor of the Autism Awareness, I believe this is 400, right? The Autism Awareness 400, sponsored by Garland Oaks. So we will be talking to Garland shortly once we get into happy hour. And then we'll be getting the green flag going and 96 laps on the clock tonight. So it's going to be a long race, 50%, I do believe.
Yeah, but it's like I said, with the 1X pit, we won't see a lot as many pit stops as we do like on the other ones.
Yeah.
But it all kind of equals out a little bit. If we can get some green flag pit stops in, that would be really, really cool. And then you really kind of get the field separated. You find out like who's really good at the hot pitting, who's really good at getting in there and getting out of there. You can lose a lot of time here having just a little bit of an episode. Maybe somebody gets into you. And things like that. Coming into the pit, you overshoot your pit, and how fast you get to that pit road. To get there. So if you slow down way too much and you get down to the pit road speed, but you're still 100 yards away, you've lost so much time on these guys. So pitting is very important under green flags.
And qualifying is important too, because you don't really want those last 5 pit stalls either.
Well, I take them just because I'd rather be there. But yeah. Some people don't like that. That coming in to the pit and you have to slow down so quick that it makes it harder.
Yeah, you have to slow down earlier. So hot pitting's totally out of the question because you're going less than the speed limit at that commitment line. So it's like, okay, it's 55 mile an hour speed limit, but you're doing like 20 because you're the first pit stall. So you're losing pit road's basically longer for those cars because they have to slow down earlier, but you can't speed all the way to the end. So it's a big track. It's a big pit road, but it's still pretty tight when it's full.
And as always, Maverick is one of these leagues that attracts a lot of international drivers. Mm-hmm. So we have, 26 from the United States. We have 8 from Brazil. We have 2 from Ecuador, 1 from Argentina, 1 from Colombia, and 1 Mexico, and 1 from Venezuela. So, and then as far as makes go tonight, we have 8 Fords, 8 Toyotas, 3 Chevys, 7 Chevys, 7 Dodges, 4 Cadillacs, 2 Lexuses, the 2 Kias of the Snyder family, and the Honda of Keith Hughes. So I think they're done with qualifying. Let's see if we can find Garland Oaks.
Yeah, let's see if we can find Garland and bring him up here.
Garland, you got Roger Blaine in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
So, sponsoring tonight's event.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's an annual thing that me and Ben do. So we've been doing it for quite a while now.
Tell us about it, because your IT company is involved in this a little bit too, right?
It is. So we started sponsoring this event 2 years ago. We actually did Bristol the first time, but it wasn't really a good race for. It was actually terrible for sponsorship and everything, because it was the first race that he actually did caution cool downs in, and it was just a wreck fest, and it was bad, and so viewership dropped way down after that race, and so we decided, because I run so much at Talladega, and so many of the guys that's on our team run Talladega really well, that we would move it to Tally, and we'd also, because we was able to still do it in April, which is Autism Awareness Month. So that's how we ended up at Talladega, and that's how we ended up in April, was for this specific race. As you all know, we've got several drivers out here that's on the spectrum that races with us. And Alex, which is my middle son, that's raced with us before. Of course, I can't get him to race anymore. His rig's collecting dust, but he's on the autism spectrum too. So it's pretty close to my heart to to come out here and sponsor this race and make sure that everybody that's out here is recognized.
That's great. I didn't know it was the entire month, Autism Awareness Month.
Yes, it is. It's a whole month.
Nice. You're running a special car scheme tonight. I noticed I got Mercurio out there is running the autism paint scheme. I know you have one, and that's pretty much the same, correct?
Correct. It's the same paint scheme, different numbers on it. Last year, I think we had one other driver driving one. I'm not sure why Ulysses is not in one tonight. But Merck actually won the race. I'm pretty sure it was last year's race. So he was able to win the race, or at least podium, in the autism car.
Yeah, right. It looks like he's up. What do you qualify second there? He's got the second pit stall right there. take a look at his pit box.
Oh yeah, he's way up there. I think he's first, ain't he?
He might be, because the server might have the first spot. I'm not sure.
Right.
But yeah,
I think
man.
he qualified first, so. Yeah, we're pretty excited. We've got several teammates up in the top there, so you know any of them could bring it home. Of course, me and Ulysses is in the back, but we normally start in the back, so I'm not too worried about being in the back, and then we'll just work our way through the field as the race goes.
Oh, Team Wrecking Ball. Team Wrecking Ball work their way together. You guys will team up and work your way to the front. I've raced with you guys over, Talladega Nights and stuff like that. A lot of fun racing with you over there in the super speedway stuff. And you guys, you get it right. You guys do real good at it.
Yeah, I think it'll take a little bit. With the setup in here is a little slower in these cars than what we normally run in the CTS cars. But we've all run these cars before with Benjamin, so we know what to expect out of them. We know how they're going to handle, so I think we'll be good.
We were talking about that earlier, how pretty much 90 to 95% of all of the Talladega racing series that are out there, they're all pretty much CTS physics, and how this was Cup tonight, and going to take a little bit more to get them to suck up. So, I can see how it can probably be a little harder than having the truck physics.
Yeah, it's the problem's going to be is bump drafting is pretty much going to be out tonight. I'm pretty sure. I don't think you'll see a whole lot of bump drafting because it's you're bouncing off the back of the car in front of you too much. And hold on just a second, fellas.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, I think it is like the drafting with the truck physics allows the draft, like the bump drafting, to be way more amplified.
Exactly, because you don't come off the car as much. Whereas in this particular, in the way it's geared, shifting from third to fourth, it's about 150 miles an hour. So it creates a whole lot of space, and I'm hoping it doesn't accordion affect us too bad tonight.
Okay, well. Yeah, I guess we'll be keeping an eye out for that. But yeah, it's a long race tonight, man. 96 laps, so you got a long time to figure out how to get up to the front. You got any special plans, or just sort of sit out there and wait it out?
Yeah, I don't know. We could. I mean, there's several different methods that we've used here before. It's really going to depend on how many green laps we run on this first couple of stages here, on how long it'll take us to get up there. But a lot of times we'll just we can short pit it during a caution and, get 10, 15 laps, 15 cars there on that lap. So it can get us up our week. Only thing I don't want to do is get in the middle of a field if we're wrecking, too much tonight. So, and that doesn't have anything to do with being over here at Maverick or anywhere. It's just some nights you have bad nights. And I've been at leagues that all want to say that they're the biggest and the best, and we still have 6 or 7 cautions and 70 laps. So, it's Talladega, and we're all going to just have to deal with it tonight.
Yeah, we saw last Saturday we had a trioval wreck that only 4 cars were not involved. I mean, it was what you would consider the big one. So it doesn't matter. I mean, it's super speedway racing. It takes just a little bit of a mistake by one driver, or a bump draft gone bad, or anything, even a little bit of net code, and it causes the big one, and you have nowhere to go.
Exactly. And so that's what I said. I hope we all run a smooth race tonight, and we put on a good show for everybody that's watching out there in YouTube land, and for you all, and to help your channel and your efforts. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll do some in-race reporting as we go along, and we'll.
I was just gonna say,
we're just gonna have some fun with it tonight.
There you go. Well, good luck, buddy. I was just going to say you are our in-race reporter tonight, but you took care of that for us. So, get down there, give them heck, and good luck tonight. And hopefully we will not only get to interview you a little bit during the race, but after the race. So, good luck.
That's what the goal is.
All right. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, Garland. Good luck. There he goes. Yeah, we've got our, let me see, we got our stats here from Benjamin. I can put up the season standings after, let that roll around. 58 people showed up tonight.
Yep.
To race here, and of course only 43 will fit in the server, and 2 of them are us. So 41 cars on track this evening. Did not qualify.
18
Alaba,
drivers.
Medina, Hope, Martinez, Kennenberg, Sanchez, Breeding, Dotson, Scully, Moore, Salas, Hillier, Tartamella, Enrique, Yankee, Daddy, Snyder, Mark Snyder, and McGlynn. Those are the drivers that did not qualify for the race this evening. So that's a hefty list.
It is, and unfortunately, we were going to talk a little bit about anybody that wanted to see what it would be like to, what it's kind of like racing this tonight. Sean Dotson, the 91 car, is always, whenever he's racing, he is broadcasting from either in the cockpit or, what view he uses. And we were going to talk about that tonight and try to show you a little bit about that. And unfortunately, Sean Dodson, just didn't make the field. And the qualifying here is extremely hard. These guys have got it figured out. If you got it figured out, you got it figured out. And I've had so many people try to help me do this and say, you got to do this and you run this line and here. There's no way. I can't. I don't get. They are just that good at it, and I never make it in knockout qualifying.
And a guy like that, not to make it too, a lot of names on that list, all those guys, they're here every week. But anyway, these guys are getting. Yeah, I was going to say these guys are getting ready to grid up right here, right now. So let's go to our Grand Marshal. And that'll be Damien McNeil, Special Olympics, Northwest Florida. He's a regional director over there, and Ben got him to do the thing. So take it away, Sir Damien.
Drivers, start your engines.
Thank you, Mr. McNeil. Damien McNeil, Special Olympics, Northwest Florida Regional Director, doing the call there for us this evening. Focused currently on our pole sitter, Josh Mercurio. You can see Jovan Anderson right beside him, Michael Norman right behind him, Nick Gunther, Keith Hughes. Can't see Javier Negronis behind all the RVs. But anyway, we'll get this thing rolling full field here tonight. Maverick Cup Series rolls forward, the Autism Awareness 400. Thank you very much, Garland Oaks, for the sponsorship this evening. He's our in-house IT guy, so if you have any computer issues, he's glad to help. And we'll charge you a pretty penny because he's the best in the business. This version of Talladega is pretty sweet. It's like Talladega version 6, revision 8 or something. It has a bunch of version numbers. The revisions are just them changing the signage, I think, around the track. And we got the shaded front straightaway. It's kind of cool.
That's a little weird for me.
Yeah, and I don't install, I don't put in the DirectX 9 patch. So it does the shadowing better, so it looks kind of neat. Yeah, that was a pretty neat move there, by Jovan Anderson.
Curio got a good start. Jovan Anderson subbing tonight for Seth Green. He jumped right down to the bottom, right in front of Michael Norman. So, that's not an uncommon group right there. Mike Norman and Seth Gold, see them together. They broadcast over to FRN Flat Out Racing Network. And they used to have Norman up in the booth on Thursdays, but he was having so much fun racing. They had to find some other people to come up there and talk. So I kind of like that Norman's driving the old, Cletus car. He digs it out for most of the super speedway stuff. I have a few, people in different cars tonight, just due to the fact that we had some people that we'll just say they got a vacation from this race. So Avalier will be in the 88 subbing for Figueroa, Juan Figueroa there. Alex Brown is in the 93 subbing for Harvey Edwards. Let's see. Zach Hilling will be driving the 93, normally driven by Danica Matthews. So, you know, kind of people got a break off for a week, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. I wonder why my lap thing's not lined up. That's weird.
Remember, to err is human. To really mess things up, you need a computer.
Yeah.
Keith Hughes trying to get that high line kind of formed up. Now, the track that we usually see or race on with the Talladega, we've known it well. It's been named a few other different things. It was built by John Godfrey. It's a great track. Got 3 distinct grooves in it. You see a lot of 3-wide racing here. I'm not sure what this one is based off of, but if it's based off like one of the TR versions of it, it will have the bottom and the middle groove should work together very well. And if you had like 4 cars on the bottom and 4 cars on the top, it's literally going to depend on just who's the better pushing line. As Garland talked about earlier, though, it's not the truck physics. It doesn't really bode well for pushing like we see, with the other guys with the truck physics. We really kind of focus a lot of times on the backstretch, how they go down through and how hard they're really pushing. We probably won't see that as much here with the cup physics. It's a little bit more dangerous to do that.
Oh man, this this new computer is hilarious. Every time I try to key up something, it's bringing up my adrenaline overlay, which is weird. You can't see it on the broadcast, thank goodness, but this ATI video cards. Oh, we got a car going around.
Oh boy.
My goodness gracious.
That'll bring out the first caution for the night.
Yeah. So while that's happening, let's see if I can change this lap counter to work properly here. Now that we got a yellow flag condition, if the game decides to crash, at least this way it'll we won't be missing anything as far as the yeah, it's like everything's just skewed just enough. It's strange.
I'm going to give you mad props here.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out what happened, and I'm going back, and it doesn't take you very long to find these replays. I had to take me a minute to find it.
Okay, here we go.
The first car to go around is going to be Carroll in the 35.
Okay.
And it looks like off the front bumper.
Yeah, I saw him on the high. Somebody on the high side
Joseph
got
Pavlon,
tangled
yep.
there. Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I think that Carroll had to lift a little bit. Pavlon right behind him.
Yeah. Something
happened there because it kind of looked like he lifted when he did. Pavlon didn't have time enough to avoid him and ended up getting into the back of him. I think I'd call that a racing incident, but
yeah, because it was a good run by Mangialardi in front of him.
You're going to see probably
the checkup was, that's a good probably 5 mile an hour. So just ran out of real estate there.
Most of your back marker cars there, but we don't mean to call them back markers, but the cars that are currently in the back, probably the people that were involved in the caution. There was a few I saw. Ulysses Sandoval was involved in it. Most of them guys, anybody that got, and he was just involved because he was late coming to the party kind of thing, and then had nowhere to go. But once most of those guys will come in and take 4 tires. Others, even though it's on 4 laps, remember, it's 1X pick, so you can go a lot further on fuel than you can with the 2X pit. So because of that, most of the front runners will probably stay out for a little bit. And you got to remember, tire wear is never really usually an issue. It could be an issue because of just the length of it. They may have to change the tires at least once, but then again, you may not. They could possibly go the whole way and never get the tires down to a point where they would pop. The performance would drop, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I would, if it was me, yellow flag conditions, depending on where I was, and whatnot. If you're up front, whatever, and you want to get out there with the rest of the guys, you take 2. But you kind of take, in my opinion, you take right side tires under the yellow flag conditions, left side tires under the green flag conditions. That's just so that when you come in, sometimes you try to hot pit and you overshoot, you'll end up sliding that left front tire. I'd rather be already prepared that may or possibly going to happen. So that's the way I would run through it. But
Right. You think they could run the full 94 laps without needing a tire change? Maybe right side once?
I don't know. It's just...
It'd be interesting to see.
They might do it.
Yeah, like they would be showing some wear, but like you say, they wouldn't be going into the red, I don't believe. Yeah.
As long as you don't slide the car, get spun around, you know what I mean? Or maybe even if the setup, isn't, because I mean, you could have the setup a little bit too tight, be too harsh on the right front tire. I haven't seen anybody that really does that here, but I'm looking at the setup right now. It's kind of your pretty much everyday, average, basic kind of Talladega, Daytona kind of setup. Of course, with this mod, they run 350-pound springs on the right rear. They run the same shocks on the rears. They just, everything. They can't change all that stuff in the back. They can only change it in the front. That was something that NASCAR did back in that day to prevent drivers from putting shocks in and lighter springs, and that would actually allow the back of the car to drop, which took the spoiler out of the air and created more speed.
No way, eh? That's amazing.
Yeah, they were a bear to drive because basically the back of the frame was bouncing off the track. But really. But it just, they'd have light springs in the front, light springs in the back. That thing would be basically slamming the track, but the spoiler was out of the air and they'd go faster. And I was just looking in there. The reason why I went in there and looked, myself racing here, I would run about probably 64 on the brake bias, which would give you a little bit more brake to the rear. So they're running it at 69. So if I was to, my style of driving, how I drive, try to come in there for a hot pit or just a little bit overshoot that, I'm going to make that left front tires, slide. So, it depends. It's not an open setup league, it's a fixed setup. So everybody's running the same thing. You just have to learn to adjust to that.
That's a neat, wrong button.
Wrong button.
I'm just trying to zoom in on the car so it doesn't look, so I can squash it. I'm doing my, Steven Spielberg push-pull here.
Okay.
Hopefully not nauseous. I just squashed Garland Oaks' car. But
Pace car did make it down to pit road. Josh Mercurio on the front row decided to take the bottom. I don't know if they have a choice. I believe they do.
I can't remember, yeah.
Couldn't remember if they do or not, but Joanne Anderson. So I was kind of wondering that move that happened in the beginning, whether that was something that is planned. We've seen this time and time again where two drivers that want to really work together, but the caution comes out, they have to start side by side. One of the drivers won't go so that the other driver can get in front of him. That didn't happen this time, so I think Michael Norman might have been a little not on the shot there when the green flag came out the first round. This time, he's right on Mercurio's rear bumper.
Now, we usually see the middle lane being favored here on the CTS physics because it is a little bit faster. You'll see cars running up in 200, 205 in the draft sometimes. Here, they're 185, 190 maybe at the most. Will we see, I'm wondering, we might see more racing on the low line. Not to mention, this is a different version of Talladega that we run too, so the settings in the track surface itself are different.
If it's based off of the TR versions, there's a few different people that have made these tracks. Obviously, Brian Ring was one that made it, and then the TR was another company that made it, and they just basically improved the high groove so that it promoted a lot of side-by-side racing. Yeah. I believe this probably came from that because they are running too wide, but you don't see anybody at all trying to go for that 3-wide action. I think if you put these same guys and you put them onto the RGG version 4 track, they'd have a lot more fun on pit road because it's 10 feet wider.
Yep.
But you would still, even with the cup, even with the Cup physics, you'd still see them do the 3 wide thing. The biggest thing with the Cup, you have to be a little more organized. I always talk about how this line's going better, and we, do the drone view because you have that great camera angle that goes down the backstretch, and you get a great view of the guys pushing each other. And we're always talking about, see how hard he's pushing, see how, you know what I mean? That's why that line is going. You would really have to emphasize that here, although we talked with Garland Oaks earlier, and he said these cars don't do that as well. So the Cup physics, it's a little harder to push them, but because the truck physics gives that really good push, and it's a good solid push. It seems like the biggest problem that they have, it's more like the nose of these cars. Now they don't look that way, but if you go look at the older Cup cars, which is basically where this physics all comes around, and as Josh Mercurio drops down to the bottom in front of Keith Hughes, who started making that inside line go, that point is why that it doesn't push as well, because it's so easy to disrupt the car in front of you.
See, we've seen Mercurio make a couple of lane changes the last couple of laps too. It's less frantic, I think, too, with the restrictor plate, because you're capped right out at 7,000. So it's like, okay, we can make this little lane change here and there and everywhere, and kind of just go for a drive. It seems so much slower. It's weird. They're still doing 190 mile an hour, but we're used to that extra 10. See, then he went back up again. He's trying to keep Keith behind him, but he's. Oh, yeah.
This
can't
time,
block now. Yeah.
But
Keith finally got you.
It's literally what you got to do to stay out front here. I mean, we've always talked about how you got to watch the line and where the momentum's coming. We talk a lot about how certain drivers do that. Even, you go back to, 4 or 5 cars back, and a guy that goes from the bottom to the top because he sees that higher line coming. A lot of times, if you don't do it right, you end up slowing that outside line down so much. And in the truck's physics, we see them kind of come back relatively quick. In this physics, if you have to lift, it takes a lot more time to get that back up, get that thing just to humming and go. And we got, looks like Jonathan Peavy, I think that is, on the high side, one of the Cadillacs, trying to see about making the third groove go.
If they get enough guys up there, I think they can make it work.
Oh, yeah. I think they could. It'd be interesting to see if it affects the inside line like it does with the trucks. At the RTG track, they run it Thursday, they run it Saturday night, and so we see it a lot. It's really, you and I are still baffled on how that works, but you go to that track, the inside line is pretty much the preferred line. That doesn't mean the bottom line can't make it happen. It's just pretty much the preferred line. You get that third line going, you get 3 wide, and all of a sudden it's like the parachute gets pulled on that inside line. It's very strange how the air changes and that inside line does not seem to get the run.
Currently focused on the 50 there of Gustavo Carrillo. It in the middle of this 3 wide situation where that top lane basically stopped. They got to Gustavo, and then they haven't. Tarnation TV curse.
Yeah. Was it him?
Oh, no.
No, don't tell me it was him.
Yeah, I was locked onto the 50.
Oh,
oh man. Sorry, Gustavo, I'll take blame for that. Every time I put the camera on somebody, they crash.
You know what? Now, I think I figured out why it's the curse. Why it's happening. Hear me out, okay?
Okay, yeah.
So, we have seen a lot of these drivers, they'll be sitting there driving, and they've got a screen to their side, and, they're watching the broadcast.
I know exactly.
And I wonder if he was driving down through the middle. Granted, driving in the middle, you gotta pay attention, you gotta keep track of this stuff. And I wonder if he looked over, saw himself on the screen, and that's possibly why, that I'm just guessing, speculating.
I wonder. That's a good guess, because like you said, guys will watch it live. And they'd be like, oh, look, they got me up there on the screen. And then he just kind of got out of shape a little bit.
I kind of get a chuckle out of some of them guys. We're sitting there doing the broadcast. Every once in a while we'll look over. For example, we got Robert Spring. He's our Valheim buddy, and he's in there tonight. And, I happened to be talking about the RTG thing on Thursday. He runs there. And I told him that. I said, I'm going to be trying to do that. He goes, it won't take me long. But then we have... Oh gosh, I didn't bring out my translator. So we have a bunch of other people in there that, they chalk. And it amazes me that we have a race going on and looked over there, and we're getting a response from a driver. Who's driving out there? Bob Sire. He's one of the big ones for that.
Yep. Don't text and drive, kids, unless it's a video game. So you let her rip.
So with 15 laps in, I would think that you would see some, maybe not the leaders, you know, but there again, we're a little unfamiliar on how far they can go in the distance.
Hughes is looking.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of them looking and not. I've seen a lot of that tonight.
Look at Hughes. That's funny. He's not going. Yeah, he's so.
No, but Jovan Anderson, and I think that was trying to catch up. I know Jovan.
It's a 50-50 split. Some guys are in there and then they're faking out, and other guys are faking in. It's
heavier on the ground in that Autism car. That's actually a pretty cool looking rig. He also decided to pit. He made the show tonight. And going through the notes earlier, he hasn't actually been racing yet over here at Maverick. We've known him to race here in the past, and we kind of thought it funny. But we was like, what? John, he hasn't been here. Javier hasn't been here. No, wait a minute. But he hasn't. But we see him just about every other league that we broadcast for. So
I'm like, no, he's here. I'm like, no, he was somewhere else. That's
yep.
We're just focused on the 51 there. Had some rear end damage. I just had it.
Really did?
Faitasa. I'm just looking for the first name. Hiani Faitasa. No, you know what? It looked like he had rear end damage, but I'm going to say it's the paint job. It looked like it was bent, but it's not.
Actually, going through, just making sure we had all the cars and stuff, because there's a lot of cars for this league, and I'm not saying that guys change the paint schemes every week. I'm just saying there's they have a lot of drivers that race over here, not always, every race and whatnot. And we always go through to make sure that we actually have the cars and stuff, and going through them, and I saw them all, and I saw that, and I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, it kind of looks, no, maybe he hasn't dented, but I think it's just the paint.
Yeah, it was from a distance I had it. I'm like, oh no, the back end's all bent, but that's the way it's got that leak-less adult drip pans.
Okay. Now, I get a question. Do you have Tate Dorsey's car? Because I do know he's running a car that you did not have the last time you broadcast. Okay.
Yep. Royal Kludge. What's that?
I was trying to explain to you what it looked like, and you were like, what?
Yeah, I get it.
It almost looks like a
motherboard. Yeah. And there's Dorsey there. We just kind of ripped through the field here. Austin LaPlante, 48.
Looks like a beautiful Dark Horse Mustang for Tate Dorsey there.
There's Lane Sanders. There's Iker Vera in the 61, cool car. Javier Negron. Oh yeah, he's got the Autism car. Looks different than the other ones. Yep. There's Benjamin Schneider, cool, the Purple People Eater. Miguel Figueroa. I'm never going to get it right. I apologize, Miguel. Vigora. I want to say Vigora, but my tongue wants to do something else. Figueroa.
Figueroa. What is it? The one word that you can't say, I can.
Yes.
It's not
exactly.
Because I mess up names left and right.
Yeah. Oh, there's the new driver we got there. Hiena was
subbing tonight.
Oh. Was it Hoao? The first name is spelled Joao. I believe it was Hoao.
Hoao. Yeah.
Yeah. So Fastlane Racing, is that not the same one that Gutierrez rolls with? I've seen that
one. Is Rodrigo and Nelson Rodrigo, and what was the other one?
Was it Gustavo?
I think so.
No, maybe not.
Let me pull the notes up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've got the cheat sheet from Ben.
Yes.
There's Udo Neves in the 16, rocking a Ford Fusion Mountain Dew. Cody Lamas. Noah Hart. That DQ car's cool. I mean, all these cars are cool. It's awesome to see stuff not painted by Rodney Sullins.
Yes.
We get Carlos Mendez. There's the other one right there. Found it.
Okay.
Fastline Racing, Carlos Mendez.
And there was some a lot of different pace cars in. Keith Hughes is going to start it off. It's got Mike Norman on the outside. Then we have Josh McCurry over the current points leader. Gunther, he's in a different paint scheme tonight too. Hadn't noticed him. Usually he's running that black and purple. One car way down low.
The line there.
Yeah, I think he has internet connection issues. He was getting out of the way because he was having issues. So, and of course, Brown driving.
Yeah, Alexander Brown.
Driving the 92 tonight for Kirby Edwards, as we talked about before. He was, given the option to take a week off. This way we can put it.
He got arrested.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Either way.
Yeah, he got thrown in Maverick prison.
Yeah. He got a penalty for something.
Yes.
He didn't do something.
Yeah. There's post-race penalties given down because of, if you get multiple, it's kind of like that 2 in park rule, 1 in park rule, then eventually you just get to you have to just park, you have to sit a whole race out. So Carnby Edwards was forced to sit out an entire race today.
And we've seen that happen. Just about every league we run that we do broadcasting for has some sort of penalty system.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we're thinking, I guess he couldn't make it tonight. Then we find out, oh no, he got to his max and he's been asked to sit. So
review the races afterwards. They review the races afterwards, and they, kind of figure out, if you did something wrong. So it's kind of ironic. The new driver tonight in the 80, and I'm going to mess it up probably. How would you say that it was? It was Howell.
Yep.
Is currently right now 4th place. He was 5th going across the line, but he's currently in 4th place right now. I don't think that incident is brought out of caution. We're still
I was
racing.
going to say, I saw something going on back there. There it is.
Okay, it did come out.
Yep.
But he's currently running in the top 5 right now, doing very good. So.
See, the neat thing here at Maverick is if you are unfortunately, if Carnby was asked to sit a week, you can have somebody drive your car and still collect the manufacturer points for the car, I believe, right? That's how Ben...
Well, they call it owner points, yes.
Yeah.
So they're, I believe, points, yeah. I don't think it has as much effect as it did before. But he, just because I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Rodney Sullins. Did you read the chat?
Yes. Oh, rude.
You insulted his paint.
I did. I said it's cool to see we're in a race here where there's no Sullins paint jobs. It's kind of weird. I'm looking at these cars and I don't see the Rodney badge on. I'm sure there's got to be somebody in here with a Rodney paint, right? Sorry, Rodney, we love you, buddy.
He does awesome work. So
it's amazing work. Yeah. It's wild for the amount of work that he does that I can't find a Rodney stamp on any of these things. Here, watch. We'll go through the whole field and we'll see if we can find one.
I'm going to tell you though.
No.
I'm not. No. I'm going to tell you though. I think it's not that, they don't have, Rodney doesn't do them. Rodney doesn't just paint cars for everybody. I think he's kind of got a way about him that, you gotta know him, and you gotta race there with him and stuff like that before you go just getting a car done willy-nilly,
Well, and that's the thing too. That's what I like about broadcasting for the Maverick series, is because this is the one league that's kind of detached from that kind of core group that we hang with.
Right.
There's so many leagues in NASCAR 2003. There's hundreds of leagues, but we only kind of operate with about a dozen of them. So then you kind of see a lot of the same guys float between all of them, where Maverick is kind of detached from. I mean, there's guys like Garland's in here, RJ Bishop, Ulysses Sandoval, like Ben comes out to the other races, Nick Gunther, Michael Norman, but there's a lot of guys in here, like Alex Moe's out here tonight. But then there's a lot of other drivers that, we don't see these people anywhere other than here. And I don't see any Rodney paint.
And that's not only that, but we don't broadcast for Fast. We do have some things in the work for Mobile 10, but that hasn't all. We had one last week we were supposed to do something happen. It had to,
See,
you know,
Memorial 10
postpone.
though is basically prime time
Okay.
because it's a
And then
prime
we got-
time. It's held on the prime time servers,
Yep.
and it's on Monday Night Series, right? So you would get a lot of prime time guys coming to that too.
And we see Mercurio a lot of places, or of course Michael Norman on Thursdays over at RTG. And of course, you know, we got tomorrow, we got with a TMP, we got their new late model series. I don't remember all of the details, but, whoops, Rodney's saying something, but anyways, I'll check that in a minute. I don't remember every single little detail, but it's going to be an interesting way of qualifying, interesting stuff there, but unfortunately, we went and did a couple of broadcasts with them for them, and they like it. So they're cutting into my ASR Open Cup setup night. But you know, I'm still waiting for a paint for Rodney on that too. But get done with these you know, charity races and the specialty races that he's been painting all these cars for.
Some cars
Just
here are
looking.
taking advantage of the pit lane before they close her down and go back green again.
I was wondering where Mercurio was going. Went out in front of the pace car, so I was kind of weird there. But I forgot where I was going. But anyways, because we got to do that the late model stuff, I'm not getting to run my normal race night. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I decided to go do Thursday, just because I was only doing one night a week, and it seems like people are taking me away from that. So I guess we got to stop broadcasting so good is what I guess we got to say.
Yeah, that's the thing. I never thought it would become like even was it last week or the week before? Week before last. I think we broadcast every single day except Sunday.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You did.
Oh yeah, because the Thursdays it's a separate deal.
Yeah.
And then I was
didn't
solo
do-
on the Saturday, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't do the Thursday deal, but I think I ended up doing that Friday deal with you. Fridays isn't always necessarily a good day for me, but you know, I was able to make it a couple of times, and we don't do Fridays very often, but we do get them once in a while. So usually when PRL does their championship races, and then of course, you know, I keep getting from people that I know, when is RV there coming back yet?
I'm flipping through the YouTube channel there. Yeah, we got Fabi. Who's Fabi Dup? I'm here on behalf of Icar. He says
Okay.
NASCAR is OP.
His car has made the trip down pit road, and dudes have to say car.
Joshua Two says
Keith
yeah,
Hughes.
Rodney Sullins. Rodney Sullins says I did make a logo for one of the cars on track tonight.
Yeah. Keith Hughes on point. Josh Mercurio, current points leader, out in second. Third is going to be Alexander Brown subbing for Carby Edwards tonight. Michael Norman fourth, still running up front there. I don't know if he's pitted yet. Looking at it, no.
No.
The top.
I never thought to check that. The top 8.
8 cars have not pitted yet. Mm-hmm. Remember I told you, in the garage, we can go in the garage and it'll give you a rough idea how far they can go. Now that changes when you get out on the track, depending on where you're drafting, whether you're, you know, Keith Hughes out there leading the pack, or, you know, whether you're Rodrigo back there about maybe 4, 5, 6 cars back. You know, you're in a better fuel mileage situation being right there. But, you know, sometimes it takes us a little while, especially when you get into like the trucks and the cups. We know what the truck physics can do at a 2X. We know it's 19 to 20 laps, maybe more depending on who, what, where, that, you know, where you are and how much you've had to lift. But
And we've got 2 of the flat line, or what is it there? What's the name of that again? Fast Lane Racing. 2 of the Fast Lane Racing cars there. We got Allison Rodrigo right behind Piana. Right up front.
yeah, Piana's been up front
out
all
here
night.
first race and up there in 4th position right now.
Yeah, and it's been running strong. I mean, if things go his way, I mean, as stout as that car is, he shouldn't have too much problem. Mercurio there on that high side did not get a very good start at the beginning there. Gunther got up behind him there, and they seem to be making up a little bit of headway, but they got to get PV up there behind Gunther to get that line a little tighter, that bottom line. The first 5 cars, they're pretty tight, and that's going to be hard to beat if you're not doing what they're doing.
little bit of an update too. Jack Merkel 17 laps ago out with an engine header.
Oh,
Gustavo Carrillo 10 laps ago out during an accident. Ulysses Sandoval was disqualified from the race, and Benjamin Snyder has also retired due to an accident. So
wow.
Ulysses Sandoval disqualification and Jack Merkel with an engine failure.
Merkel's the big one to me. I mean, obviously Sandoval is we see him just about every league that we ever broadcast for. He's usually there, big into this super speedway racing, and usually his prowess on it's pretty darn good. We've seen him win championships over to PRL and stuff, but have him out already tonight, that's too bad. And Jack Merkel, that's the big surprise. He's last year took the championship with over a 400-point lead. This year he's just so far has not had the luck. I think he needs to sit down with Keith Hughes and come up with that bet system again. I honestly think that bet system that he had made him just want it more, and it worked out really well for him.
I wonder, do you think that had? I believe it would drive you to go, but maybe it was just. I mean, maybe he just doesn't like Talladega. Just quit.
I don't see that, Merkel, but
no.
It's a possibility. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this.
It's a legit engine header, so I mean, he was forced to retire. Obviously, the motor's not running anymore, but
I don't like the super speedway racing myself. I don't understand it. I've always said that, I can't hold my breath that long, and I always ran the TR or the BR versions of the track. Until I got introduced to Talladega Nights, got onto that track that John Godfrey made, and the first time I was out there, they got 3 wide. I backed out, and I was like, this is not going to last. And 10 laps later, they're still running 3 wide. I said, okay. So then I started rolling up on the high side. I hate to say that I was really kind of enjoying myself, but I was. It was kind of fun. I was trying to figure out the 61 car made a really good move from the bottom up in front of Mercurial there. The way you got to do it, moved up there, didn't slow that line down at all, basically added to that line. So when you do that, if you can get up there and you do it right, you have the momentum so that when, in this case, Mercurial gets up behind you, he doesn't have to lift to prevent from hitting you, or, if you do it right, it comes out and the line just stays smooth. Joe Van Anderson trying to get that third groove out there working.
Yeah, we just looked at it there in a replay there now. You could see, he literally was able to move up.
But
like you said, just at the same exact speed as Mercurio, so it didn't cause a checkup. Yeah.
So you just see what happened there going down and coming into the trial there. They're trying to get that outside groove to go, and Joanne's got that high side coming. You keep seeing Peavy ducking out, thinking that line's coming enough. Every time he does that, he's killing that momentum on that second groove. He needs to kind of stay tucked in it to get them guys going. They've been kind of stalled out right now where they are. They're just around, we've always seen going into the corner, they get a little better run in on the inside, a little better run off on the outside, but they kind of just can't clear Rodrigo right now to get up beside him.
Be sure to join us tomorrow night at TMP. We'll be broadcasting live with those guys. Something completely different. We'll be at Memphis Super Short Track, and we're running the late model project version 2 mod, which is super cool. Much, much different look than what we're staring at now. And that mod's a lot of fun.
Unique qualifying, like I said earlier, and I'm curious to see if they're going to have the same kind of tire rules where they have a limited amount of tires, and whether or not they're going to stay with you can only change tires underneath flight conditions. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. We have those rules on it.
Oh, he sent me the rules.
Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to get any service.
Oh, that's right. That's what they were doing. Like I said, been a while since we talked about it. Roger came in and kind of discussed it with us. It's going to be, the length of the race is going to be enough that in short that you don't have to pit for tires or fuel. So
Yeah, it's a
It was penalty.
100 lap main event, but it's also like a 0.4 mile track, Memphis. So
Yep. It's a fun track. It's a kind of a, not really flat, but kind of one of, falls into that category. And it's, it should be good. Well, see, they started to make up, I think they must be listening. They stopped kind of goofing out there trying to do it. Now they've gotten up to the side of Rodrigo and actually working on the 80 car. They started to make up a little ground.
And back in the YouTube chat there, I see Benjamin was letting us know about his painters. A lot of great painters help with the series. Paulo Vitor has painted several cars. Allison Rodrigo and RJ Bishop. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, we don't know who paints over here. We're used to, Mobs, Seth Cole, Rodney Sullins. I paint sometimes. I'm missing so many people, but now we got to get used to some new names. There's so many talented people in this community. It's amazing. I love it. I say it all the time. Like Rod and I, we bought this game brand new 23 something years ago now, and we're playing, there's guys on this track that aren't even 23 years old. So,
Yeah.
That's, I love it. I love this game and always come back to it. You might get away from it for a little while. You always come back to it, and it's always there. And new generations will pick this thing up and keep it rolling and keep on painting, keep on making tracks, figuring out how to use this old software.
Eventually,
we got squeaky tires back
I'm
there.
going to say something. Or not that brings out the yellow. Is it a single car? Yes, it did.
Who was that?
Benjamin was in the chat requesting that, maybe we should do a full blast with Alice and Rodrigo. And I was just, waiting for you to get to the point, and then, of course, cautioning them.
We will get to the full blast. Yeah, I got to tweak that. I don't believe the audio boost is working properly since I migrated it over to the new computer, so I have to check my plugins. But either way, that's technical jargon that nobody cares about. The fact that we stop talking means you can just turn that volume knob higher. That'll work too.
So, of course, Allison Rodrigo is the most current, winner that is an international driver. So not somebody from the United States. So he runs pretty good. We've seen him,
always.
at just the super speedway stuff. He's always right there. I remember the first race that we did here for Maverick. Keith Hughes ended up taking the win, but Rodrigo was right there second behind him.
Got to go back here and see the point of caution. He said it was a single car spin. Well, the easiest way for me to find it, I just focus on the pace car. Once the lights come on, I'll go find the smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the easiest way.
Hey, look, there's smoke.
I'm looking right now. So Keith Hughes, Alexander Brown, Michael Norman, and, I'm going to screw this up, Pina. I'm going to go with the last name Pina, have still yet to pit at lap 34. So sounds kind of like what I thought what the garage said that would be able to do about 39 laps. I think you'll see these guys up front pit this time by.
It's like Jorge Pachon, Miguel, and Carlos were involved in that, unfortunately. And
the question is anybody going to stay out?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, we've been yellow for a little while.
There's some. It takes a minute to go through the field sometime, and I'm trying to get them where they're past the pit stall so I can get the cars that did stay out. So it looks in the 16 Ford Fusion, and the Mountain Dew car is going to be staying out this time.
Oh, we got a bottleneck on pit road here. Somebody got a hold of the grass. And if you wanted to hire, who's that? Who's in the 84? The 84 is Cody Lamas. Cody Lamas Landscaping Services. He'll do your lawn, and he'll get her done by dawn.
So 6 cars stayed out. The first one off pit road is Vera, which was I believe was the leader last time. Didn't get to see what they took for tires. Jovan Anderson comes out second.
So everybody has made a pit stop.
Alan Young, that's a nice looking tribute car to the late Alan Kowicki.
D. Young?
Oh, who does?
Oh, the Hooters car.
Hooters car, yeah. Now, depending on where some of these drivers that stayed out had last pitted, but we would just, I don't even know how long that green flag run was. It was quite a pretty good long green flag run. I think they'd probably another 5 laps. We'd have been seeing green flag pit stops. It was an awesome run. But Curry is one of the lucky dogs. It's the only car 1 lap down because as of current. You have all of the cars that are in front of the leaders. Most of those were on the tail end of the lead lap. So I saw 6 cars not pit. Well, the reasoning for not pitting was they weren't on the lead lap, so now they get themselves on the tail. As you'll see right now, the pace car lights go off. All 6 of those cars are going to go around the pace car. McCurry has already gone by being the lap down car. They will go around. They will come up to the end of the longest line that's out there. So, and then they'll get the green flag will come out. Unfortunately, they will be given a black flag for that, which the admin will clear, and that's how they do the lucky dogs here.
Yep, neat little spin. The game will always give you a black flag. It's just an old game, so it's just easier to clear it.
It's too bad that somebody can't come up. Well, I can't say that. I do know that somebody has come up with a program that clears the black flags and stuff. But it's almost too bad that they can't update this game to the point where it would do it by itself, or it would understand that.
Yeah, like an option in the menu, you could shut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that, but it would require you probably editing the executable, which is not legal.
The executables, we've seen a lot of people edit. It's just whether it's the main code of the game, probably would have to be edited. And I think that's because I know that there was a few different outlets out there after Project Wildfire made it available for you to be able to make mods. There was one that made one, but it basically used the game, but it almost kind of made a standalone version of the game. It went a little too far, and they ended up going to court and had to take that game down. I used to have it, don't have it anymore. Pace car makes the trip down pit road. Still got a ways to go to get start-finish line because it's on the other end of pit road.
Yep, like you can see there, Iker Vera is leading the pack back to the restart here, lap 37. And that is not Seth Cole in the 9 this evening. It is Jovan Anderson.
Racing against Jovan always made me a better driver racing him because he's pretty quick no matter where you go.
Yeah, just awareness, right? Like just knowing how to read traffic and get into the right spots.
Well, these guys that are good at this style of racing, they're good for that reason. They know they've done it enough. You take Rodney Sullins. I mean, this guy at this track is phenomenal. Doesn't win all the time because it's not that he's not good at it. It's hard to win. You got to get the right people behind you. But we see him running all the time. We've seen him with the Aero 88 series. Just come out there and in a 8-race series and knock off 3-4 wins. Outside line just doesn't seem to get going as quick on the starts.
Well, we've actually got Seth Cole in our chat there too. Had a broadcasting gig tonight. Appreciate Jovan able to step in featuring Jinx out on the racetrack tonight.
Tuesday night, where would he be broadcasting Tuesday? We know Top Dragster.
Go on Flat Out Racing and find out. He's doing it right now. He'll be right there with us. I know not Hobo, what do they call himself now? AOR?
Yeah, it's at AOR, yes, but that's what Top Dragster does.
Yeah, Top Dragster be doing that one. I wonder if Dodson went over. You should check Dodson's feed. I wonder if he was able to not qualify for this race, but still make it into a different league.
Let me check.
That would be kind of funny. Like, well, I didn't make this race. I'm going to go over and race at Milwaukee Mile with whoever else. It'd be kind of funny to see. There's so many options. You can easily figure it out. Vera up front here has led 4 laps. Keith Hughes right behind him with 20 laps led. Michael Norman has 1 lap led. Who else is on here with some laps? Mercurio's got 12 under his belt, and that is all she wrote. Carlos Mendez is the only car 1 lap down. Car's not in the race anymore. Jorge Pachon, accident. Benjamin Schneider, accident. Ulysses Sandoval, retired, changed from disqualified. Gustavo Carrillo, he's out with an accident, and so is Jack Merkel. Fastest lap so far, 49.4 seconds, which is 193.6 mile an hour average. Garland Oaks.
We're supposed to be dragging him up here too, so we should have grabbed him for the last caution there.
Oh, it's getting close up there. That looked
wow,
that 92 looked like he almost was gonna be out of control there with that wash. He's gonna wash up the track. Held on to her though.
I'm trying to find his broadcast, but
the Flat Out Racing Network.
Yeah.
Well, Seth got back to you. Was helping out some friends call an iRacing event on split-second broadcasting, so you're not going to find it on Flat Out.
That's why.
That's why. Benjamin saying too, this mod here, the Generation 6 BR, is the Bull Ring. Main Cup mod designers in the early to mid 2010s. Bull Ring was great. They had an awesome website too.
I didn't like the Atlanta in the Bull Ring, just because it was literally a high groove. I loved the Michigan. That was pretty fun. And
did they mod tracks too? I thought they supplied templates and stuff.
No, they did some tracks.
Oh,
and
cool.
I always liked the Richmond BR. Now it didn't have like a super duper great high groove that everybody wanted to be there, but you could actually race, and if you were fairly decent at Richmond, or like the flat tracks, you could actually pass on the outside. And I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool, yeah.
He's trying to steal the lead away from Keith Hughes here.
He's gonna get it.
Not quite. It was pretty darn close. It was kind of weird how with the cup physics, it took a while for that high line to really get, ramped up. Of course, Jonathan Peavy out there on that high side, he's been trying that all night long, trying to get that high groove, third wide out there, getting it rocking and rolling.
I'm showing the 9 with the 0.00. I can't see the third one, but that was a pretty close one at the line, yeah. The 9 has not led a lap yet, so that's what he's trying to pull off.
We're almost to the halfway point. We still got a few laps to go before we get there, but it's when if you're back there, where PV is, he's got a house in LaPlante that I can see behind him. Trying to see the number of I think that's the 83. There's 2 cars that look very similar. Can't see the number. But either way, he's got Tate Dorsey behind him. That looks like I think the 29 is Raphael. They're trying really, really hard up there to get that. It's 80.
Who's the driver? Who are you looking at?
I'm trying to figure out who is right behind Peavy.
Oh, that's the 93. Of
Sanders, okay. That's what
Sanders, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just the view I kept getting from the TV one, I could not quite. There we go. So I just needed to hit it right there.
Yeah. Lane Sanders, yeah.
Could not quite see who was out there helping them. They've got it going on. I mean, it's slow. It's not like the truck physics. It's really methodical. You just got to keep tight, keep going. Obviously, it's not like the RKG track, but the high line is there, so they're working their tail off trying to get it going. But like I said before, you got to watch out for people that'll pull up and possibly slow that line down.
Yeah. Yeah, you really need to be perfect, it looks like, to be up there. Any little, you know, bobbing and weaving, maybe not tight enough to the car in front of you, and it tends to just not want to move. It's not dropping, but it's also really not going anywhere either.
It's weird how the watching these races, so just like the regular Talladega and whatnot, we always see them, they just run on the bottom. And then you get these ones that have, you know, multiple grooves. A little bit ago, you know, we didn't see the high groove really be the most dominant, you know, one, but now it's actually starting, you know, to prevail up there. Although I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. There was some jockeying going on up there, and I was kind of focused on, you know, Sanders and Peavy there just to see how they were making up. And I don't know, something happened up front where people were stepped out of line, kind of moved. I don't know, some people were just trying to jockey for position.
Yeah, a lot of space was created. It's something, yeah, something's up there with Joshua Mercurio. He got a run there for sure.
Wicked run.
He passed him clean through that whole corner. That is wild. There's a bump draft coming here, or not. The 9 goes down below the 83, or sorry, the 86.
Brian Wolf has finally woke up and decided to kind of, you know, watch the broadcast.
He just had to get in here to make sure you were in live mode.
Yeah. Me and Brian had this, you know, weird kind of fun friendship. We like to give each other a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian says, hi at Tarnation TV. Blaine and Rod sounding looking good as always. Cars look awesome tonight. Love the theme. Autism speaks. This sim has a lot of heart. Good job, Maverick.
They are getting there. They're slowly but
Knockout
surely.
qualifying, man. What was the number? 58 drivers showed up tonight?
58 drivers showed up, 18 went home.
Yep. Then we actually had some guys on suspension, too. There's like half a dozen drivers that aren't even allowed to be here tonight, and that's still 58 people that showed up. So there's like probably 65 who wanted to race, but the gavel comes down, and you've reached your limit. You got to sit a week.
Benjamin's requesting the full blast on the 30.
On the 30, all right.
And I think we talked about this earlier. If you have a situation, Ben, you should come up in the booth and hang out with us and do some broadcasting.
Yeah, Benjamin's got the numbers, man. Let's go on board with the 30 to do some full blast. Rod and I will shut the mics off. That means everybody can crank up the volume knobs and let her rip for a couple laps. It's a lot of fun because these car sounds are real. I can't remember what sound pack I'm using, but it sounds pretty cool, don't it? Anyway, thank you everybody for watching as always. And once I find the button, we'll do some full blast.
Just as you say that, big pile.
Okay, 1 second. We just had a yellow flag come up. We'll do it on the restart. It'll sound cool on the restart because you get to hear them upshifting. Let's back that up a bit. We'll find out.
Ooh, Alison Rodrigo's back end of that car is a little bit stoved up. No, we don't. The damage that we usually see is with the Minsk Cup. The damage they take parts away from the car. With the Gen 6 BR, it has a tendency just to look the way it does, and it'll kind of stay that way.
Right. Oh, yeah. Wow, they're so tight going through that corner there. The 92 of Brown. Alexander Brown gets around there. Car's up in the air in the fence. It looks like Garland Oaks.
Almost looks like Keith Hughes got loose or something.
Oh, wow. What's going on up here? Jeez, somebody's upside down. Somebody call the amber lamps. Alison Rodrigo getting knocked around. He actually almost got through it. But then got walloped right here coming up. That'll buff out.
Yeah, that'll buff out.
Did you want to grab Garland? We got a
Sure, let's look at it. Sorry. Yep, let me see if I can find it.
Get back to live here.
All right, Garland, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth.
I got you.
Having fun out there?
I was until that last wreck. But we're going to put 4 tires back on it. We're going to fill it full of gas, and we're going to see what we can do.
What you're going to do is the classic, I'm going to put my foot to the floor, and I'm not lifting until I see the checkered flag or God or the checkered flag, right?
I'm do what I do. We're about to do some Garland moves.
Oh boy, business is about to pick up at the Garland Oaks home.
We're going to see if we can go on that outside lane and make it work.
Well, they've been trying it. We just got to get some people out there that work better together, you know?
Yeah, I know. I think that last wreck there, I think the 61 was just, he's jittering too much out here. So there's some jitter tonight.
Do you think you can get that high line working? Because it works to a point and then just stalls. So it doesn't lose. It just doesn't seem to gain.
I think the problem with that high line is the amount of people here that know how to run that high line, and they're being scared trying to go around some of these cars that's going up. So, you know, if somebody could hold that middle line, I think that high line will work. Because I tried the high line earlier and just couldn't get around. I couldn't get around the people in front of me because they kept easing up there, and I was afraid I was going to get tapped into the wall.
Well, we'll let you get back down there and get your strategy figured out and get that third groove working, bud. So good luck for the rest of the race.
Let's see what we can do here.
All right, well, you just got to find somebody to hold your beer because, you know, and then watch this. So good luck, buddy.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, Garland. And race reporter forgot all about that until lap 50, apparently.
we get going on about racing and such. We forget that we're supposed to, you know, interview them and stuff.
Yeah.
So you were going to go, once we get ready to go green, which we're not quite ready to yet, you were going to do in the 30 car, right? We're going to do a little of that full blast. That ought to be cool to listen to Michael Norman ripping up through the gears.
Yeah, we'll get on the 30. Michael Norman, driver of the 30. I don't know why I cannot see. My crank it up button's not working. My full blast button. We can still do it. We'll just be quiet. It's just nice to have a graphic on screen. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with that. It's not triggering.
So, well, you're on the new one here where you
know, this is going to be on the notepads to fix this.
Yeah.
It's funny how layered all these broadcasts become, and then when sometimes you just find something else. Like even the lap counter not being, like it's been fine every week until now. I don't know why it's different. So no, next week it'll probably be shifted again because it was like maybe the name of the track shifted it down a line. I don't know.
Oh, Joseph Landy Pavlon, after that round of pit stops, finds himself on point with Josh Mercurio second, Jovan Anderson in third, Michael Norman, which we'll be doing the ride along with if Blaine gets that figured out, will be fourth. Gunther in the 55 is in fifth. And that high side, that is, I'm trying to find it. Mangialardi. Okay. The 29, but there's two 29s out there, so I want to make sure I had the right one. Pace car makes the trip down pit road. And say, I got a Dodge Charger. You have a Charger? You do. Yours is red, mine is yellow. Avalon's got the bottom groove. Now, so far we've seen that bottom groove prevail on these starts, so we'll go right along with Michael Norman as green comes out. you lose now? Oh. Yep. How the hell did it get into the boot on the stairs? Oh, yeah. Oh, how many cats?
All right. Hopefully the full blast worked out pretty good there. I was having mic issues and all kinds of fun stuff, but either way, yellow flag is up. Did you see how it started? I was in the cockpit on the 30 when I heard you react to that, and I'm like, uh-oh, something went down. Something went awry.
I was just watching the guys cruising down the backstretch, and next thing you know, I see car sideways and smoke, and
yeah, we'll find her here. We'll get back to point of caution. It was a little bit delayed. I wonder if they were thinking about it, but because administration does pull yellows here, they don't allow the game to do it.
The admin it's basically admin control. So if they deem that, you know, maybe a couple of cars incident and it goes down off of the racing surface and it's not that big of a deal, then they may just let, you know, continue it. And obviously they have something that's very new to, you know, any of the other leagues, but they do what they call a caution cool down. If they've, you know, just being bad boys for too long and not doing it right, they'll say, okay, you know, so next caution's not going to be until another, you know, another 10 laps or another 12 laps. So have fun, go wreck each other, boys. Not like that, but you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
It's just,
so I'm just sorry, I'm reacting to the, so Bernardo Raphael got tagged by, who's that in the 51? Oh, that was Feitosa. I don't know. We'll get a helicopter view on this. I don't know what happened. They were 3 wide, pretty straight. Everybody's on rails right here. Oh, the 51 might have had help. Yeah, it might have had a little bit of help from Panicia there. It didn't really look like a hard push, though. It's so crazy how sometimes it doesn't look like anything, but, you know, when you are racing in such close proximity, and then you think about internet lag too, right? So if there's a little bit of latency, you can see, oh yeah, you see the 94 just disappeared there for half a second. But he makes good contact on the bump draft. I'm wondering if the 51 just wasn't ready for that.
Right. And
he might have been thinking about a lane change.
Talked about that before, too.
Unfortunately, it collected Raphael as well in the 29.
We talked about that before, too. I mean, it's possibly that the 51 didn't have steering assistance put in, or, you know what I mean? Why that is important. A lot of, I've learned from some of the guys that are really, really good at this is some people will run, you know, maybe 5% steering assistance, others a little higher than that. And in this scenario, what it does, it allows you to get a bump draft from somebody, and it doesn't disrupt your car so much.
Right.
But a lot of people do that just because you know you're going to be bump drafting here.
Oh, now we know here from the panel on the rail, Bernardo Raphael Dino. He's got Dino in quotation marks, so we can call him Dino for short.
Oh, there we go.
29 of Dino. But yeah, I used to run like 5% steering assist, but then I
Same.
used to run a lot with AI, right? So then when you start racing online, especially when I started getting back into it, you know, it's not too bad. And then I migrate over to the Talladega Challenge on Thursday where they run Talladega all the time. And they're like, yeah, bro, you got to turn up your stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, you got to go in and your steering assistance has to be like minimum 20.
Yep.
So I think I set it to, I think I settled on like 23, 24, 18, like somewhere between like 18 and like 25, I think is where I put it. And yeah, so much, like night and day.
Yeah. So I run no steering assistance whatsoever unless I'm on a super speedway, and I do run 20 to 23%. The thing
Right,
that
and
I don't
it does
helps.
smooth out the jittery car maneuvers and you know, even running a wheel. You know, the keyboard guys, they have different settings they can use.
Right.
I think it's like there's like an input smoothing, or if you're using the keyboard, you should crank that up.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it's called. Let's check.
I think it's called, it might have been linearity, but yeah,
Is it
they do. The
linearity is a real thing.
The issue that I've always had with it, with steering assistance, is when you try to pit, it tries to keep you on the track.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I don't like about it. But yes, you know.
Yeah, there is an input latency dampening. There's something to do with the key. Like if you're running a keyboard, you can adjust your. I can't remember. It's a smoothing of some kind. I can't remember where it is. It's in the game menu somewhere though. If you're running a keyboard, it's best to have that turned up. That way, a button press isn't a hard turn. Like it's not instantaneously to the right. It's a gradual pull where you can smooth it out, especially on a super speedway, right? Joseph Landy Pavlon is in first right now. We should focus on the front.
Yep.
And look who's right beside him, as always, the 9. Like all day long, the number 9 of Jovan Anderson driving Seth Scholl's car just up front all day.
Him, Mercurio, Michael Norman are basically the guys that have been up there. Gunther's been right around that area. He's not necessarily been up near the total front, but he's been in the top 6 at least. Negron's been up around there. We're seeing some new players and some of the guys that are normally, you know, have been up there all night.
So unfortunately, Raphael has gone a lap down. Or as we like to say, Dino. Mm-hmm. Ooh, the move and the block. Except they're going to stay on the bottom line. They're like, yeah, no, we're just going to go back to where we were.
Garland Oaks still has the fastest lap of the evening, and Josh Mercurio so far has led the most laps at 13. Joseph Landy Pavlon will come around this time to lead his 8th lap, so if he can stay up there, he might surpass Mercurio and get the most laps led for the evening if he can continue to stay out front. Kind of funny to see Alexis out there.
Yeah.
I know. These people that they do so some of the paint schemes on the Gen 6 BR are, you'll kind of look at them, are like the Chevys, they have the SS, the Toyotas are the correct template. Then you look at some of the ones out there, like the Dodge has like a Dodge Charger, but you got guys out there with a Dodge Dart, which that is on the Ford template. We talked about this before, I think last week, about how they have to be on a template that they'll match up to look bright.
Yeah, the template will be designed to fit the model, so depending on... The fourth make is usually kind of a generic. They don't get too crazy with the you know, like the bumpers and the headlights and stuff. They kind of keep it pretty flat, so you can put anything you want on there. Because I know, like the Challenger and like the Men's Cup 19, it's got a pretty steep front end on it because the headlights are recessed back into the grill. It looks super cool, but you can't really put a different thing on there unless you keep that in mind.
Looking through it real quick, like, so you got Gunther on the high side there and a Dodge Dart. Well, that's actually a Ford. You know, doesn't make a difference. What the difference is in the cockpits of the car, the gauges and such are different ways for different manufacturers. The Toyota always has the tack on the top and the middle. The Dodges have it off to the right. Fords have it off to the left. I've always run in this one the Dodge just because I like the layout of where the gauges are, until I just recently got the, I don't remember what they call it, but it's a background change they call it, which takes the F, I call them the F keys, your F1, F2, F9. They're keys that you can click on to give you information about, you know, tire wear and different stuff like that. That has now moved to the upper left-hand corner of my screen, not in the bottom right. So really now it doesn't matter because you'll be able to see all of the gauges no matter what.
Yeah, those UI adjustments are cool. You probably downloaded them from Armory.
With that screen being pulled up on the Chevy, I think it is, and the Ford, it puts the water temperature behind it. It's a little harder to read.
You probably downloaded those from Armory Digital? The UI enhancements?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mystical over there does awesome work. He even teaches you how to do your own. I just made mine black.
Well, I saw it when we saw Tom Moose's setup, and Moose ended up just sending me, basically just sent me his whole layout folder.
Nice.
And it works perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's lots of different options you can go with, and he even gives you the templates if you want to do your own, which is really neat. And you know, that Mystical over there at Armory Digital, another big player in the NASCAR 2003 community, man. Just like, you know, the ICR mod, the go-kart mod.
I want to see that one. I haven't found it yet.
It's cool. It's on Armory's website. You go Armory Digital for NASCAR 2003 season. You'll find on there he had a mod in the works, and he has these little progress bars on the side of his website. And then I'm like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be. So then you check back a couple months later, and you just expect it to still be at 40%. Nope, it moved up 55%. Like he would actually move that little graphic the farther he went through this project. And when he finally released it, it was the secret mod was revealed, and it was a go-kart mod.
So Luther, who had led the last 4 laps on the high side, had managed to get that high side out into the front. Now I question his move a little bit. McCurry decided to pop out and see if he could get that third line going. Mm-hmm. And when he did, Gunther went to kind of block him, which I question that move because it ended up slowing that outside line down enough. Of course, Mercurio decided to pop out there on that high side, and now he's got the lead. Going to have the lead, I believe, this time by. And you know, Pavlon is only up to 11. Mercurio's up to 13. These guys are going to be fighting hard to see who can lead the most laps.
See, in Garland Oaks, our in-race reporter in the 67 was talking about maybe getting that third line going, but not so much is happening back there in 18th spot. They're just kind of riding along.
Every time they try to do it, it looks like, and this is my opinion, but the guys in that middle lane keep trying to go out in front of it and slowing. It's literally slowing that outside groove, the middle grain lane down enough, and so every time they do, it kind of bottles them up, and then they go back, and the inside goes a lot faster.
Oh, the 19 just made a hard left. Was that the 19? I don't know if it didn't see the number on that car.
I had to take a drink. My mouth was getting dry after all that.
I'm gonna back it up and check that out. That might just be a single car spin right there. That might not even. Or maybe it was a 91. Maybe I was looking at it upside down. Yeah, it was. It was RJ. RJ Bishop in the 91.
Ooh.
That thing just went...
Gunther got just... It was a bump in the wrong moment, wrong time. Going through the tri-oval. Just bump draft kind of went wrong right there. Got kind of shoved out of the way. No caution comes out. He drops behind all of the lead lap cars. Didn't lose much time. Oh yeah, he might lose a draft because he did hit the wall, which kind of killed his momentum a bit.
We'll back that up and take a look at that too. I was looking back at Bishop when that happened. So here they are. Yeah. What Rod was just referencing. Nate Gunther in the 55. Oh yeah. Wow, nice save though. What the heck? That thing went up on 2 wheels. He hit the wall so hard. Let's get a view from helicopter cam on this one. Yeah,
There he
just
is.
not a lot of space there. Man, he's lucky that car didn't flip.
Mm-hmm.
It got up like that, and sometimes the air will get underneath these things.
And you become a pilot without a license.
Yeah.
The FAA just tells you to get back on the ground and you come down real quick.
Yep. There's Udo Neves behind Retosa. There's Garcia and Vitor. Carroll, Rodrigo. There's Bishop back there too. Miguel. And we're back to the leaders here. The 80s. They're doing it again. Looks like PV is slapping the
keeps
back
trying
of
to make that.
Pavlon there.
He keeps trying to make that high line work, and every time he does, somebody comes up in front of him. Pavlon did that time, slowing that momentum on that high side we talked about. Not that he's did it completely right or wrong, but there is a proper way to do that. It keeps the momentum up. Watched Michael Norman there a while back. He, we're getting down to it. Not necessarily, still got a ways to go. I believe probably one more pit stop, but Michael's been just kind of looking, poking around, trying to decide what way to go. He wants to get himself a little bit further to the front so that when this thing kind of winds down, he's in a better position.
See, and it's like you can come up there and run that line, but you got to be ready to get bashed, right? Because you need to be able to take a bump draft. We were talking about it. It's not as effective with the CTS physics, but it does work. You need to be able to take the draft or the bump, because otherwise it's going to slow the line down.
Oh, yeah. Not only do you got to be able to take the bump, but you got to keep that line. Oh, no.
That's a big one.
Very big one. I see Michael Norman's involved in it. I think he was more of an innocent bystander. Something happened on the outside lane, which sent somebody right into his right rear quarter. McCurry was in it, but I think he probably made out the best out of all of them. Geez, a little bit of math here to see, where are we standing on fuel? Can these guys go the distance from here, Easily.
Like Norman, and then, Joven got around, tagged Nate Balser. We haven't talked much about Nate Balser. He's in a bunch of other leagues we cover as well, and that's red and white and blue 79, or 079. Oh, the 48 hardened of that inside wall. Well, the 448 of Mo. Nothing too catastrophic.
Yeah, you see Mo.
Mo actually tagged all the walls, man. Yeah.
He was way down at the bottom, figured that would be the safest way to do it, and it all just came right down to him.
Yeah, and he actually went back up and hit the other side of the track, too. See if we ride along with him. On board with Alex Mo in the 448. He's almost able to get through it. Hard impact on the left side of the car, and then he comes up the track and hits the same spot again. Left front beating on that 448. What about the 079 there? What does he look like in that?
Glanced over at the broadcast, though, you could see he almost had that cleared, and then Tate Dorsey had a little bit of contact, just threw him right out into Alex Mo. I mean, he had nowhere to go. It's like everybody in the front row is coming down pit lane. Now, I'm curious to see what are we going to do for tires here. Anybody takes tires, just fuel. This will be, they'll top it all right off. They'll be able to make the distance on fuel from here.
Busy pit road. Oh man, we just watched the 84 go around.
So fuel only for Josh Mercurio.
84 is Cody from second place. Got a little bit out of shape there.
No tire changes so far that I've seen on pit road. Everybody just coming in fuel only. See Tate Dorsey's, the back of his car is bent up pretty good.
I mean, this pit stop will get everybody till
Yes.
the end here, I would imagine. This is easy.
Oh, yeah. Can make it from here. For sure, but now the question is can we, let's see if we can make it green from here. That would be awesome. Looking at Benjamin's notes that Lucio Gladney Pavillon has won, he did win the race in 22, but he was driving a Toyota at that time, so.
Wow, going back to 22.
Yeah.
Hey, here's one for you, Ben. Just a question. How long has the High Voltage Racing League been going? And is Maverick one of the flagship series, or did it come in later? What's the timeline on all that stuff? He also mentioned there a Lexus has never won a race.
He's just checking Pavillon is in a Lexus, but that is on a Toyota chassis. So that he could be in that car that he won with, but he's just got a new aerodynamic package on it, per se. So whether that Lexus is aerodynamically enough to get him up there into the front, we'll have to wait and see. But I see that his teammate, Sanders, is right behind him. So maybe with a little luck, you get some teammates together. Possibility, you have some help up there near the front.
Just take a look at some of these cars, ripping through the field here.
I was looking at what Pacinia, Panacea. I'll get it right. One of the we do know that there are 4 Cadillacs. I don't know if all 4 of them are here tonight. I know.
Oh, there's one. Yeah. Found one.
Found one what?
Cadillac.
Okay. Got PV, got Mercurio, Panacea, and there you go. That was the other one. Yep. So it's all 4 Cadillacs are still in the field. I mentioned that just, I kind of always say, when you get out here racing and doing this stuff, you want to be around people that that are going to help you or push you towards the front. What better person to do that than your teammate? There's 4 Cadillacs. They're all out there. They're team cars. So it would be nice to see, if the Cadillacs can get together. You get the Toyotas, the Dodges. There's kind of the Chevys, of course. What was that? Fast Lane Racing. Interesting to see if they can get themselves kind of hooked up and work together to push their team up towards to the victory.
Riding along here with Joao Piana in first place.
Just say, it's had a great night so far. A pace car making the trip down pit road.
Has led a couple laps. Oh, outside lane. Got to remember the 51 here of Vitosa's got to remember, don't jump the gun, and now they might stack it up. Yep.
Oh. Yellow flag is out.
Yeah, you'd have never went for a roll there.
Just noticing that Pablo Victor has made his way up into the 3rd position, has yet to lead a lap tonight, and he is currently in 2nd place in points, ironically 86 points behind the 86 of Josh Mercurio, who just happens to be, well, let's see, where are they together right now? So Pablo Victor is 1 position ahead of Josh Mercurio. So that's not going to be a great point. It's going to be a great points night for him if he was to finish in the 3rd position. Not so good points night if Mercurio is only 1 position behind him.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are so consistent every week, right? Give and take a little bit here and there.
Oh, and, Mercurio have pretty much been right up near the front most of the season. Granted, we still got a long ways to go. Jack Merkel will probably dig himself out of the hole that He's been getting himself in as of lately and make a charge for it, but he's still, you know, not finishing tonight's race is going to make it even harder for him.
Did you want to get a hold of Garland again and see what he's up to?
Sure, let's see how he's doing, because he hasn't got that outside groove working yet. Garland Oaks, you got Ron Blaine in the booth. You got a copy?
I've got a copy.
So you come up here before telling us how you're gonna make that outside line work. We haven't seen that happen yet.
Nope. I ain't had anybody go with me, and I ain't got close enough to my teammates to be able to do it. But we're in 16th. I got Cody and Dylan, so we'll see what we can do. Nick's back there. I don't know how tore up we all are, but we're gonna see what we can do.
Right. Well, we just wanted to, you know, check in with you, see how you were doing. I knew it just seemed like every time you tried to get up there, like you said, nothing really happening. And that outside line, as soon as it kind of gets formed, it's kind of like the middle line. Everybody keeps trying to, you know, break out of there and popping up and, you know, try to see if they can get the third line going, and it's not really working that well.
Yeah, it's not working that well. But good thing is I got 4 fresh rubbers on here. We're full of gas. We're good to go to the end. So it's just a matter of avoiding a few more wrecks and see if we can get up there and put this thing on the podium.
There you go. We'll tighten them bikes up real tight and go get them, buddy.
Thank you, fellas.
Good luck.
Thanks, Garland. I love talking to that guy.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
He's just like that race car guy. Like any racing event you've ever watched on television. That's the guy. He knows. Yeah, I just got to get this Coca-Cola Camry into Victory Lane, you know what I'm saying? So we're just going to get them belts tightened up. We're going to get a fresh sip of water. We're going to go, you know, fire suits hot and ready. Like, he's just boom, boom, boom. It's great.
I've raced with Garland for, I don't know, probably, I've been doing this with you for about 3 years, so probably the last 4 years I've watched him or raced with him. And back in the day when I first started at Talladega Nights, he drove the old, always in the 67, but it was the, I don't know if it was a something iced tea car. You would just tuck in behind him and follow him. You know, I didn't know all of the people. I didn't know, you know, still learning the Talladega experience, you know, the way it was, but I just tuck in behind him and follow him, and I learned a lot following him. So the pace car does make the trip down pit road.
Yep.
Well, Victor back there in third.
And we got, Feitosa and Piano on the front row again.
I know it's been up there pretty much all race long. Not too. I don't think it's gotten down much further than the 6th position. So.
Oh, it looked like the 80. I was looking at the 86 right there. It looked like he was looking to the inside, maybe to go around the 51. It looks like he's thinking about it.
I think, well, you know, we're getting down, but we still got time. But you know, when you're at this point right now, pulling out sometimes isn't going to be such a bad deal as long as the other cars behind you will go with you. Victor is pushing him. 80 car out to the front. That's the thing you got to do. You got to get that shove down that straightaway and release them onto the corners. Especially into the tri-oval, just the tri-oval they get so light if you get into the back of them. That's what'll keep them guys out front. Highline is trying to form up. Yep, go for it. Taking a quick look back there at Garland Oaks just to see how he's doing. Currently in the 17th position. We just talked to him. He's on that high groove. Trying to get a little bit of distance between the guy in front of him, that high groove, but he's starting to run him down. Be interesting to see. He keeps talking about how he wants to get a third line going. Let's see if he can get some people to help him. We haven't talked much about Cody Lamas tonight. He's out there in the old Carvana car. Take it he's a Jimmy Johnson fan. But Garland Oaks right behind him. 51. Shuffled out maybe? Trying to find room to get back in. Oh, but he's going to let him come back from that high side. He's going to go all the way back to this pack, I believe. Ontario covering that high line that's coming. Here, starting to make up some progress up there. See, there's Javier Negron back there in the 3rd position. That is Hart in the second position on that high groove. Ooh, Pavlon gets a little bit of a love tap. Not a great place to get a little shot, but he got a little bit of a bump there, knocked him up to the third groove. Again, say you get out there by yourself, you're going to go back to the end of this group of cars. Afraid that might kind of kill that momentum on the high side, but it hasn't yet. Josh Mercurio up there with Hart and Javier Negron back there. Kind of funny there. I think it's second car is a Toyota. Yeah.
Looks like a Cadillac, Toyota.
Toyota. One's a Supra, one's a Camry.
Supra. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what they run now. Not in the Cup Series, they still... I don't know, they do run the Supra in the Cup Series now.
Who makes the Supra? Is that Toyota?
Yeah. So, what was it? 5 years ago, I think it was. Then, I believe, Xfinity Series, they wanted them to be pony cars. So a lot of the Cup Series were driving like the Chevy SS, Ford was driving the Fusion, I think Dodge was doing the Charger. They had the Xfinity cars were running Camaros, Challengers, and eventually the Toyota went to the Supra.
Okay.
They're all Camaros, whatever, they're all the same. Well, I say they're all the same. It's a very loose way to put it. The Xfinity cars are nothing like the Cup cars. They are a totally different car.
I just had that cover up screen there for a split second. I noticed when these cars are going by on this wall camera that the sound sounded like it was skipping.
Yep.
So I just double checked my settings. I only had 8 sounds playing at once, so I just cranked her up to 20. Fixed the problem.
Nice.
Smooth out the audio. I'm like, why does it sound like it's skipping? Because I'm like, oh, I probably got my maximum sound set too low. You got a fixed wall camera and you got 30 cars going by. It's only going to play 8 of them at a time, and it starts to sounds like it's skipping. Sounds good now.
Perfect.
Thanks, NASCAR 2003 season. Which also has a 3D mode too. Like you can do like 5.1 surround sound in this. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Christian Torres down there in the bottom trying to make that bottom side work.
Yeah.
Getting
Torres is
down
always
to
hanging around too. We don't talk about him much, but he's always around here somewhere.
So we're getting down to it. About, let's say 13 laps to go. Amazing we get talking about racing, you forget to look down to the lap counter. And
well, and if they can get this bottom line going, this is going to be the time to do it, because we've seen for the entire race that the top line really just kind of stalls out. So maybe they've got to get to these guys by going a low way.
Well, we've
but
seen
then he just bailed on it. So
seen the middle groove kind of fail only because they see the line, the run. Oh no, 51's around. Saw Young involved in that.
Yeah, yellow is up.
Yeah. Ooh. Christian Torres there in the middle of the tri-oval. Got a little bit loose. Beautiful save, though.
Beautiful.
I doubt we'll see anybody in probably the top 20 pick. The mad slowdown on the backstretch. Always catches you sometimes when you get in a situation like this. They go by the start-finish line, in through turn 1, down the backstretch, and you fly by the pace car. So you're driving, if you are like Cody Lamas right now, you're just sitting there chilling, you got a car in front of you, a car behind you, and all of a sudden that pace car comes up and goes, whoop, right through you, just like that.
Yeah.
And I've had that make me jump sometimes.
You need to check your trousers after that one.
You're just not prepared for that. You're not, at that point in time, you weren't looking in the rearview mirror. The last time you looked in that rearview mirror, the car behind you was right there, and all of a sudden something's going through you.
See if anybody, like you said, there's probably going to be nobody up front that's taken.
Don't believe anybody will.
There's the commitment cone there in the center of your screen at the bottom.
You're going to see a lot of faking.
You got to make it. Yeah, Hughes will just do it all the time just to be funny, I think. Yeah, so definitely nobody's coming down. I'm sure the back 5 or 6 probably will.
Well, Young's going to come down. Chait Dorsey, pretty much most of the drivers from there are back, especially the ones that were involved in that last caution. I think you'll see them come down, take 4 tires and fuel, and just if you're already in the back, why not? An extra tire might just give you the grip that you need to be able to get up to the front.
Yeah, and when you're talking about track position, if you're in the final 10 spots, if you lose a couple, it's not a huge issue. But it is. I mean, it is all points at the end of the day. But some of these guys might have went for a little bit of a ride and flat spot a tire, maybe. So.
Oh yeah, and then we've got we're probably going to have 10 to go when we hit the green flag. So now it's a little bit of a dash, and what is it? I believe when you get to 5 or less, it does not matter. There will be no caution.
No, within 5, no yellow at all.
That is Maverick's way of having it so that the race always ends under a green flag condition.
Yeah, that's kind of like their green-white checkered. It's a very unique thing to Maverick.
I know that, like I said, I run over at ASR on Wednesday, and they do stage racing. So Pulsel does a great job in how he runs that setup. But the biggest problem I've had is the race is only 100, so we'll say Bristol. I could have had a chance of being maybe second at Bristol. The race was only 130 laps long. But the race on the server is set up for 168 laps.
Where they jam in an extra 50 to get that finish under green, right?
Right. So that way it works, as the pace car makes the trip down pit road, how that works is if there happens to be a caution, they will always finish on a green-white, do a green-white checkered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you pad the end of the race. But then, did you say that you made the mistake of gearing up to do the full deal when you didn't have to do the full deal?
Ooh, bumping and banging going there on the start there, but
yeah.
Hart on the high side is going to lead that lap. A great start. Now the question is, did he get too good of a start?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was able to get down in front of Josh Mercurio, who had a really good run coming. Mercurio is going to be looking to see if he can find a way around him. But yes, basically what had happened is I didn't think I could make it on fuel, not thinking that I had only had to go to 1:30. So when a late race caution came out, I went down pit road, took 4 tires and fuel because I couldn't make it, which actually I could have, and I was in 3rd at the time. So it's been a learning experience. So
right,
we are 10 laps to go. So
yeah, and then you've got I think it was a TMP who does the no tires and all that kind of stuff.
Tires
so it's
yellow.
Different.
You only have so many tires.
Yeah. It's almost, you almost need to write down the unique things about that race and just put a post-it note on your monitor up in the top.
So,
remember,
my
this
fourth
league does this.
Yeah, so my fourth monitor.
Race back, no tires under green. Okay, we got it. Let's go.
So you laugh, but I got one of those sticky notes on the 4th monitor.
Yep.
So when I race, it's up there and it says segment 1, segment 2, and segment 3. I go, when he says it, I put that in there, and I don't have, now I just look up and I've got it.
And I've got a post-it note on my monitor with the Valheim password.
Yeah, same here.
Yep.
I've got it memorized, but I do. I have a sticky note for that too. Josh Mercurio currently right now, he's going to have I'd say Keith Hughes has led 25, so Josh Mercurio just led 26.
This is actually 27 right there, actually. Mercurio, yeah, he had 26 at the line, so.
Keith Hughes currently running just outside the top 10. Yeah. When I say that, just outside the top, I mean literally he is. That could change. I'm looking at the scoring at the line. That could change 2 or 3 times differently throughout this run.
Ooh, that front row is getting dicey.
Cody Lamas went to the high side, and then Jonathan Peavy I don't know quite the angle I had, whether it was ahead or behind him. I think he was behind him, and he moved up. Lamas went back to the bottom. Oh,
lag
goes
just took out
Pavlon.
Pavlon. Somebody blinked out right there, I think.
Yeah, I saw something that looked like somebody had blinked out, and it tagged Pavlon. Unfortunately for him, that's a single car spin. No caution will fall for that.
Nope. It bounced back up into the track. It looked like it might have, actually, but I guess he didn't come into contact with anybody, so we stay green.
And I think we'll be coming around this time by with 5 laps to go.
Not yet.
Not yet. So
We
we
got
got a couple more
94
laps.
total, so yeah, we're waiting for 89.
Yep. I had to do my math on the calculator. Sometimes I'm good on the fly. Some, really good at remembering cards, not so much numbers.
Yeah. PV out there on that secondary line, but there's nobody with him,
Now,
which is strange. This late in the race, nobody wants to get up there, you just gain some positions.
so the 26 race season, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys might be thinking points racing, just, you take Javier Negron, which is his first race of the season, but if he was in the points, like Cody Lamas is, we know he's racing here on a full-time basis. If he can, stay there, he's finishing third. Same with Hart. Macario is the points leader. He's, right where he wants to be out front leading this thing.
Yeah. And Negron, out of 40 cars who started this race tonight, in fourth place right now, how fast or how aggressive do you really want to push this thing? You want to get to the front. Sure, and take the chance if we can get it, but he might be, on the fence. Just sort of stay where you are.
Well, he hasn't run yet this season. Hasn't run yet this season, so he's not here to collect points.
That's true.
Unless he thinks he's going to run the rest of the season, but he's not here. He didn't show up here to collect points. He showed up here to take away, grab that checkered flag. So if he can get the right people behind him, maybe he'll go. He's got Pablo Vitor right behind him, but Vitor, I'm just suggesting, Vitor is, second in points. He might be thinking, that this is a decent point tonight for me. I pad it under the people underneath me, but I don't pad it under the driver that's ahead of me in points because he is 4 positions ahead of him.
Well, and like Javier Negron as well, going back to him, coming into this race probably for Garland because these guys are all part of the same team.
Team Wrecking Ball, yep.
Yeah, and Garland sponsors the race. So you get these autism awareness cars out here and do your thing.
He was talking about his son, Alex, there. I raced with him, always drove a Coca-Cola car, I believe it was, and it's too bad that he doesn't get into it. But we all been there, there was a time where I put my wheel off to the side and it stayed there for 4 or 5 months. So,
right.
And mind you, I was sitting here still in the NASCAR, just doing the broadcast.
It's the thing, I don't even know the last time I actually had the wheel out driving. We do a lot of this stuff.
Mine was last Wednesday, but
yeah, it would be ideal for me now that this newer computer's pretty much. Oh no, we got a wreck.
Oh. But that's not going to bring out a caution.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, I'm not going to go back and look at that. I refuse. No yellows. The flag man has retired for this evening. He will come back out with the white and the checker.
Anna's back here in the 5th spot. He's stuck on the high side right now and is not going to make any ground out there. He's slowly but surely going backwards. There, finally found his way underneath, Pablo Victor there. So that's, get him back in line. We're going to be 3 laps to go or 2.
Yeah, lap number 92 of 94. Yeah, it'd be 3.
Three laps.
Full laps. Yeah.
Yeah. Always gets me messed up there.
Me
Cody
too,
Lamas going to the high side. He's got Javier Negron. We talked about Javier, whether he wasn't going to stay there because he's not here for points. Javon Anderson back there. Look at them all shuffling around.
Mercurio
Goes to the high side to block that momentum.
I don't
He
know.
has Hart at the bottom with Pablo Victor coming.
Yeah, Hart had a pretty good run going there, so he's not going anywhere.
A few of the cars jumping around, it just internet latency.
Yep. Yeah, it's just internet
Oh.
lag. Oh, Mercurio needs... yeah.
Oh, Pablo Victor's around.
Ooh, that... I wonder
Marilyn
right
Oaks
there.
was right there, too. Marilyn Oaks was in the top. I lost him where he went, but he was in the top 10, making a great effort there.
I wonder, would they put that incident on Mercurio? But
Not
you're allowed
sure.
to block. Within a couple to go, you're allowed to block. Live by the
Ooh.
block, die by the
Tony
block,
Lamas
right?
looking down the bottom. Block comes down by Josh Mercurio there. Vander Grans, he's going to stay on that high side. Got Jovan Anderson pushing
He's got
him
that
from
thing
the back.
locked in. Yeah, those guys
Ooh.
aren't wavering at all.
Lamas looking for room to go up there. You knew Mercurio was going to go up there in front of that line, which is going to kill Lamas's momentum there for a little bit.
White flag.
white flag.
Mercurio in control of this race. Like, he's making the right moves.
Ooh,
He's
having
making
it
that car
wrong.
really wide.
Negron goes from the high side down to the bottom. Mercurio puts the block on. Oh no, there goes
Another one.
Lamas.
We're running out of drivers, people. Mercurio getting away.
Yes.
Negron and
Mercurio too far out.
Anderson are side by side
Ooh.
there.
Ooh! Anderson tried to get down in front of Gutierrez. Gutierrez said, "This is the last lap, buddy. I ain't having none of that."
Nope.
Vander
There's
Graan on
Negron.
the high side. Does he have enough? I
No,
don't
he
think
doesn't.
he does.
No
Needs
help up
somebody
there
behind
now.
him.
Wow, man.
What an effort.
Ruthless. What a finish that was. Holy moly. That's
Josh
great.
Mercurio, pads his point a little bit. Had Vander Graan first race for the Maverick Cup Series this year, comes out second. And Gunther back there, we've seen him in the top 10 most of the night, not really up near the front, with the rest of the guys. Comes out with a third place finish.
What a run.
Yep. That's just,
Yeah.
we knew Javier Negron was waiting. We
Yeah.
knew he was not here for, points. He was here to win the race, and, what was it? 0.06 at that line. He was trying his darndest to be able to win that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was right there. Could have had it. If there was some help behind him, he might have had it.
Everybody coming up to congratulate Javier, Josh Mercurio there. Seen that before. They have a tough time to get out to do their burnout just because everybody wants to congratulate them.
Yeah. Start smashing. The car's perfectly clean, not a scratch on it until you win, and then they're going to wreck you. Yeah.
It was a pretty good race, though. And like I said, padding his points lead, a little bit. So that would be awesome. So we started with 41 drivers, and we finished with 29.
Yep.
All still on the lead
Technically
lap,
30
too.
because Cody just retired after the race was over, so he actually
okay.
did finish the race, but he lost all those positions, so I don't know. He might have been caught up in one of them big wrecks and actually was forced to retire with damage. I'm thinking.
Mercurio's down there, no stranger to this doing the burnout stuff.
Nope.
I don't think he had the wins last year that Josh Mercurio, Josh Mercurio, here we go, Jack Merkel had, but got a few. Now they're doing the nose-to-nose burnout, or thinking about doing the nose-to-nose burnout with one of the other fellow Cadillac drivers. Now he's doing burnouts on pit road.
It's pretty neat that the Autism Awareness car ends up winning the Autism Awareness 400 here at Maverick. There was two of them out there.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate.
Javier was rocking a different one.
It's unfortunate for. Look at this. He knew right where Victory Lane was.
That's it.
He brings the car down to the Victory Lane so that all y'all people out there can see what his car looks like in Victory Lane.
Yep, Gatorade Victory Lane, by the way.
Yeah. That's cool.
Very cool.
All
Congratulations,
right.
Josh Mercurio. We'll save up the replays and get to some post-race interviewing.
See if we can get wake up Nick here. I tell you, he must have been listening because I said, let's see if we can wake him up, and all of a sudden you see him come to life there. Nick, you got Ron Blaine in the booth. You got a copy. See you lighting up. I can't hear you.
Wait, so I'm sorry. Am I being interviewed now? I'm sorry.
Yes, you are. You did
Hold
finish.
on 1 second.
No hurry.
All right. What's up, guys? Sorry, I had to do something there for a second.
It's all good. Oh, you weren't like prominently out front running, like trying to lead all the laps and all that. You were kind of consistently staying within around the top 10 all night, staying kind of sort of out of trouble. And then you come out there at the end of it and finish third. Tell me if I missed anything else, a little more about your night.
Well, we were running great. We were running in the front pretty much all night long, which is kind of like the strategy. Really, was just to get out front. But unfortunately, my teammate for this week in the number 9, unfortunately, just gave me a bad bump off the tri-oval and just sent me straight into the wall. So I had aero damage for the rest of the race. And of course, it's that type of aero damage where you definitely need to have a pull and a push in order to stay competitive there at the very end. I know I kind of made some cheap moves. I think I wrecked the 51 by accident, but I think it was more of like a server warp lag, or at least on my end, because I'm also streaming on my POV each week as well. So apologies to him. I know I got a couple people that really didn't kill me tonight, so I gotta really thank them later once we do these shout outs. But man, of all places, my first podium, it just took this long to get a top 3 finish here. Especially, I was expecting to have like 2 wins at this point of the season, but I didn't even get a top 3 until now. It's kind of bonkers.
Yeah, and like that incident you were talking about, we were talking about how when you hit the wall, you went up on 2 wheels, and you really kind of got lucky that the air didn't get underneath the car and kind of lift you up in the air, but you were able to get it back down, get back on the throttle. You went back a little ways, but still able to kind of stay with that draft. And then, of course, luckily, another caution came out, which caught you back up with the pack. You got in, got some tires, fuel, whatever, and, worked your way back up to the front.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that point over turn, with all these people wrecking. I know I made like a pass, unfortunately, underneath the yellow line, but I was just trying to avoid the accident everyone else was doing, trying to give some space as well. And I kind of got lucky. I probably should not have finished third place tonight. I also kind of sucker punched my teammate a little bit at the very end as well, out of the way to get that last podium spot. Seeing how, I'm sorry to Joven. I mean, Joven and I have been working well pretty much all night long, so I'm hoping he comes back again. I know Seth is usually in that number 9 car, but I think he's doing broadcasting stuff now, so he's having a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to see Joven again in that 9 car. I hope he looks to come racing. Him and I get along so well.
Yeah, I always like racing against Joven. It's a lot of fun to race with. But so that's not too bad. Now I was going to look at where you are hiding in points. You're back there in the 7th in points. You were 142 out going into the night. This is obviously going to help you out. Other than catching that Mercurio guy. I mean, you guys have got.
He's winning the championship.
You guys are good as time.
Jack got kind of messed up there. Unfortunately, his engine blew, so he's in 40th. And unfortunately for me, I'm going to be missing like 2 races due to vacation time, so I'm not even going to be able to compete. Like I'm going to be like 2 races in the hole already, enough as it is. So I think I'm still like 1 race in the hole already with him. So that's going to be like 3 races back. There ain't no way I'm catching him unless a plethora of my races where I have nothing but bad luck hits him.
Well, if it wasn't for bad luck, you wouldn't have any good luck at all, right?
I guess it balances out.
Yeah,
I need Oswald back on the car. I need Oswald and Lucky Rabbit back on my car. I hope I can re-upload my car files.
Yeah, well then, I kind of like the car. I think it was the one that you ran last week. It was, black and purple. It was kind of a cool looking ride.
Yeah, the Mopar colors anyway. I did not run the Mopar colors this week, actually. I have ran the Surfside Iced Tea Vodka. I'll tell you more about that sponsor, of course. It is a very refreshing alcoholic beverage based by the company that made Stateside Vodka. They are based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They are about, I think, like 4.5% of the alcohol, depending on your what you're getting. Of course, they make iced teas and lemonades with spiked with vodka. It is very refreshing, very light, only 100 calories and 3 grams of sugar. It's Drink Surfside, a proud sponsor of the 55 team.
Man, that was amazing. You knew all the numbers and everything. Okay, wait. How many grams of sugar?
I think it's only 3 or 2, depending on the can.
Boom.
So see, I'm just thinking I might be lost a job here, man. That guy was pretty good. Gotta get him up in the booth some night.
Yeah.
So, Blaine, do you have any questions for Nick before we get him? Let him do a shout out and sponsor stuff.
Well, I've been talking about it the last few weeks. I'm pumped for Mexico City because I've never actually seen that track before. So, are you going to be here next week?
I mean, I've won this race before, but it's going to be very difficult to have a hungry Jack now. I'm not even. Well, actually, it's actually another sponsor. Actually, well, not on my car, but I'm just saying, that's actually another company I just kind of referenced there. But yeah, Jack is going to be pretty hungry, so he's going to be really tough to beat at that road race. Him and I always butt heads at the road racing, but Josh has gotten his road racing program to be so much better as well. So we got a couple. I'm expecting a couple other road ringers to show up here and there as well. So. It's going to be a tough race for sure next week, but I'm looking forward to our first road course race of the season.
Yeah, it should be a fun one.
How's your road course racing prowess? You something you enjoy or just something you tolerate?
It's not. I guess I'm not as good as I used to be. I guess compared to a lot of people just gotten better, and I think my skill level is kind of plateaued. It's like I peaked in high school, except it's kind of hitting into me in the sim racing world. I gotta go do a little bit better. I might have to do a tiny bit of practice or so, but I really don't have time to do it anyway. I only got 15 minutes of practice each week, so that's when I set up my stream, my POV, and all that stuff though. So it's gonna be fun. I think I'll just learn as the race goes on.
All right. Well, we'll give you, congratulations first on the 3rd place finish. We'll give you the opportunity to thank anybody you would like to. So the floor is yours.
All right, so of course, I gotta say thank you to my team of Fortnite Squad Racing over in that little Bishop Family Racing group that we have there. Actually, I think I'm in Bishop Family Racing this season. Actually, I forget what team I'm on sometimes. Yeah, we're part of that Bishop Family Racing, Fortnite Squad Racing group here. We're driving our Mopar Dodges this season. Of course, gotta thank Mopar Dodge for powering up under these hoods. Of course, Square D being a long-time partner. Our YouTube channel, MimDQ787B, so please hit that subscribe button. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers still. As well, we got, of course, as I mentioned already, Surfside, Iced Tea Vodka, and of course we got my in real life work. We got Publicis Group at SBS, providing a French public relations group, and of course the services I provide for Publicis, the SBS anyway, Swiss Post Solutions. They'll be back on the car this week because we're going to be international. We're a pretty international company, of course, so I'm going to put our international sponsors on there. We almost won a Daytona with them. We were just unfortunately, we kind of got caught up at the very last lap there. We were almost winning that race. Yeah, I also got to thank all my boys in the group that are there who race me with respect until that little bumper grab there, but don't worry about it. I also got to thank another person too, JLP, for not wrecking me twice. Because he was actually at a point in time where I think it was Josh was in front of me. He kind of gave me a bad set of bumps or whatever. And JLP should have just killed me twice, but he didn't. So I really appreciate him for not killing me there.
What was the website again for the YouTube channel?
It is MimNQ787B. I think you might have subscribed to me already. I think
I did, yeah, because we had this discussion before. You just say it so fast. I like to slow it down so people can hear it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know I speak it way too fast. We are a NASCAR gaming channel. I was a Pokemon gaming channel as well, but I kind of stopped playing Pokemon Crystal. And I'm still waiting to see what's my next playthrough going to be. It's supposed to be NASCAR 06, but I don't know. I might have to hold off on it because of something going on, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Well, there you go. Your third place finisher tonight. Congratulations. And, like I said, it'll help you out in the points. But there again, like you said, you're not racing, for the championship because you won't be here 100% during the season. But, good job. And we'll hopefully get a chance there next week to talk to you in Mexico.
Yeah, I'm only going to miss like 2 races, though. I'm still full-time. Unfortunately, I'm just going to miss those 2 races.
Congratulations, bud.
All right. Thank guys.
Thank you, sir. There goes Nick.
Avion Negron, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy.
I got y'all.
So, first race at Maverick this year, right?
Yeah.
So we knew, coming down to it, we were going, well, you think he's going to stay there? Do you think he's going to try to go for the win? And my thought was, well, he's not here for points. So he's going for the win. You really kind of made a valiant effort of it. Josh just kind of pulled the blocking game just right and kind of kept you there. You almost had a chance. I think at the end of it, if you had somebody behind you might have got him. Other than that, you were out front most of the race. Tell us a little bit more about your race, maybe something I missed.
Well, this race was basically, it's hard to do anything by yourself. And when it came down to, I think it was like 5 or less, whatever what it was, you had Mercurial, then you had the A3 car. I was in third. I had Cody Lamas behind me, so I ended up trying to go to the outside, hoping that Cody would come with me to get past the 83. That way us 3 could finish it to the end, but it didn't work out. So then when I did get to second, the last lap to Mercurial, I knew he wasn't going to give up the lower lane. So the only thing I could do was try to fake low and go high and see if I could get enough speed to make it towards the end. But I knew that high line by myself and with nobody behind me that I wouldn't get up to him in time. So that's the only chance I had to really do anything because he wasn't going to give up the long lane.
You still got to be happy coming into the night, hadn't been racing there with these guys and, finishing, second overall. So that's pretty good. Were you here tonight just in support of, the Team Wrecking Ball team, or do you have plans of coming back and racing, so a few more of these races throughout the season?
No, I always try to, but work schedule doesn't allow me to do it. I do try to get at least the 2 super speedways that they do have. That I try to make those, but otherwise with my work schedule, I don't really have time for really doing Tuesday nights. But the 2 mains, the super speedway track, Daytona, and then this one, I usually get time off to come and race that one at least, especially this one that Garland's promoting, autism race.
Yeah, absolutely. Blaine, do you have any questions for Javier?
Yeah, I mean, you follow these guys like Team Wrecking Ball into these different leagues and stuff. Do you guys ever recruit new drivers? I'm trying to think. You've been a pretty tight knit core.
Yeah, the main core basically still around. That was the main core was Ulysses, me, and Garland, and then eventually Garland will recruit other drivers, and that's how we ended up getting more than 3 people on the team. But the original 3 was us, but then Garland started racing with other people, and then they came along and wanted to be on the team.
That's an awesome team and a great name too.
Yeah.
Ulysses the Wrecking Ball Sandoval, and then he's like, "Hey, let's make that our team name." And it's like, yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
and hopefully, like I said, this is my second race that I ended up doing good. So hopefully the Lucky Rabbit Foot's working right now.
There you go.
And are you a road course fan? Because these guys are going to Mexico City next week. Are you going to come back for that?
I'll do tracks like Michigan.
Oh, you like the
tracks,
big
fast
ones.
Because with the other like Bristol and the road courses are cool, but I don't have the time really to spend on getting it right, and I just want to go there and wreck people or
Right.
just end up being in last place and just running around for nothing. So if I'm going to do it, I want to make sure that I put the time on practice and stuff like that to really at least go in there and have a competitive race out of it.
Yeah, not getting, like you said, you just want to stay out of people's way.
Yeah,
right on.
Oh, very good. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. Looking forward to seeing when you come back, if you do come back at all during the season. And obviously we do see you race other places on the weekends. So obviously you probably don't have to work. So congratulations, and we'll give you a chance to thank anybody you want to. The floor is yours.
Again, I'd like to thank my daughter and my wife, Ben, for having me, and for Garden Oaks with a great cause in autism awareness. And thank you guys for what y'all do. And that's it.
Very, very short and sweet. Well, congratulations on your second place finish, and looking forward to see you race again. So good job, bud.
All right, guys.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. And away he goes.
Points leader goes out and wins. Pads his lead a little bit. Josh McCurry, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So won it. You were up front most of the night, battling with Jovan, a few of the other drivers up there. You guys were all pretty much up front all night. You guys had a great run. Very aggressive on the blocking, but of course that's what you got to do here. And at that last run there, you were able to keep in front of them and come home with a win.
Yeah, I sort of can't believe it that it just all worked out right. Currently batting 1,000 at the super speedways this year, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so let me think. I bought a Denny Hamlin hat yesterday, and I've been wearing it, so just channeled my inner Denny Hamlin, and it worked. So here I am.
I don't know if I'd go along with the Denny Hamlin hat, but if it works for you, that's perfect. So far this year, you've pretty been the dominant car. Jack Merkel seems to, been having not a lot of luck as of late, and you've been still constantly finishing right up there in the front. Going into that, I believe you had something like a 146-point lead, I believe it was. You just got to, keep your nose down. You think you got an opportunity to pad that, do what Jack did, get that big points lead, so when you get down near the end of it, you can just relax and have fun and go for the wins?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I think it's kind of the reverse of what happened last year. Last year to start the year, I blew an engine, and then I had a couple finishes outside the top 20 to start the year, and so I was starting from a big deficit. And so, the rules are a little bit reversed. I still have to execute, still have to do well, and hopefully, if the car's on the broadcast, that means it's where it needs to be, up in the top 10, and just chugging away laps and staying up front.
Well, there you go. So that's pretty awesome. Blaine, do you have any questions for Josh?
Kind of sticking to the same thing I asked, like Nick and Javier, was like, next week at Mexico City, you going to be here for that thing?
Oh yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, the road course stuff. We should find a way to broadcast and race at the same time. I've never run that track before. I don't know why I've never seen it, but have you raced there before? You have any experience out there?
Yeah, so we raced there 2 years ago, and I think Nick won it. So, and I think I then finished third. I have a habit for finishing third at the road courses, so I probably finished third that day. The front straightaway is like 1.5 miles long, so if you get a good run off there and you've got some draft, it can be worth half a second. So there'll be some excitement on the front stretch, and the rest of it's just sort of challenging. It's technical. Well, we don't know what version we're going to run. There's an older version that was based off the 2009 race, and then there's a new track based off the F1 racetrack, and that one has like the stadium section and the revamped turn 4 section. So a little bit. I think it's less fun to drive, but it's definitely more difficult because all those technical corners, those sharp. You're running like 30 miles an hour in the apex, so it's a different kind of racing.
Yeah, hairpin turns. A little bit of a different twist coming from Talladega to be going to road course, but yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any other questions about today's race?
I was going to say too.
It happened so fast.
Yeah, it was. I was going to mention this also. It's pretty rad that we've got the Autism Awareness 400 and you're rocking the Autism car.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So do you remember the last year the Talladega race? I think it'll be hard for you to forget it, but with 2 to go, there was a big wreck, and there were only 2 cars left, and it was me and Cody.
Right.
Yeah, and we went 2 laps side by side, and he beat me out by like a nose. Yes. Okay. So.
Yes. Yeah, because the whole field got grenaded, and then it was just you 2 guys. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess another great thing about this race was getting the win for Garland. This organization is really important to him, and so when he asked me a couple of years ago to race this car for him, then every year it's just been super easy to put it back together and run it. So really good to get the sponsor's car in victory lane, and it's karma for what couldn't happen last year. And yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I had to Microsoft Copilot the last year's race. The car was on a Toyota, and I had to Copilot onto a Cadillac. I hope it didn't look too janky, but that's how I got it on this car.
You used the AI to swap it over?
I was like, remove all of the Toyota like headlights and taillights and logos and stuff, and then I'll just slap down the Cadillac stuff. So
that's funny. Yeah, I don't have Copilot on my Windows 11. I tore all that stuff out of there. I run a software utility to rip all the AI out of Windows 11 because it was using up an extra 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah,
I can send you some videos. I can send you some videos on how to do it. There's a program called WinHance, and it's phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that my computer was getting slow, and I'm Windows 11 stuff.
Tons of bloatware.
Yeah, if this game could run on Linux, I would be on it. But
wouldn't that be something?
I'm
surprised that's one thing nobody's figured out yet, is how to get this thing running on Linux after all these years.
One day. Once we go to Windows 12 and Microsoft doesn't want to support the game anymore, someone will figure it out.
Yeah, that will be forced to. Yeah, exactly.
That would suck. All right. All right.
To say the least.
Congratulations, Josh, on your first place and padding the points lead. It'll give you a chance to thank anybody you'd like to for helping you out getting you here. So the floor is yours.
Yeah. So first off, got to thank Garland Oaks for painting the car and putting on the race and paying for the broadcast. That's always one of the highlights of racing on NR is getting to see the replays and all the good work that you guys do to enhance the viewing. Then got to thank the guys at NSCRA. I know Cody, who did do some pushing and did do some wrecking at the end of the race. Had a good shot there. Thanks to him for a couple bumps. All you guys at NSCRA. Got to thank the guys at MP Motorsports. The 8 car was fast today. Didn't quite break into the top 5, but he was really competitive. And the rest of the Cadillac crew. So all the numbers count. So when you can load out the entry list with your friends, you're gonna do well. So I got to thank all those people.
There you go. Congratulations on, like I said, first place, padding the points lead, and we're looking forward to see how your road course prowess is going to be next week in Mexico. So good job, Len.
Yeah, I'll bet you $5 I'll finish 3rd.
Okay.
Oh, really? That's awesome. You can just be like, yeah, now it's going to be third. Because Zach's going to show up and demolish everybody.
Yeah, I'm thinking, Jack or Nick, that'll be reversed, and then I'll finish third, and then Keith will finish fifth if he shows up. So.
All right, so look forward to him finishing, and look at the bright side. You'll get another interview next week. So who knows? Maybe it'll even make you the spotlight driver next week. So you'll get to be up here all kinds of times.
Yeah, if any of your viewers miss me, I'll be here soon. Don't worry.
There you go. Like it. Like that confidence. All right, good job, bud. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Josh.
Rod, before you go, are you going to race? I heard a rumor that Rod was going to race next week, and Keith was going to be in the booth.
There was a talk about that. I don't know if he's willing to do that or not. But yes, it was a discussion that he said that he will not run road courses, and so I said, well, why not? I mean, they ain't that bad, and so I don't know. I haven't heard any more from him about it, but we'll have to just wait and see. But if he wants to come up here and try this, I'll go out there and run his car for him.
Heck yeah, love to see that. So looking forward to next week.
I'm a decent road course racer. I'm not that great, but I do all right. But I'd run them. So we'll have to see. You'll have to go, talk to him and discuss it with him, because I know he likes to do bets. So, see what you can figure out.
Yeah, that's what I need. Lose my money to Keith.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on the win, and like I said, leading on the points, and keep it up, and let's see you get that championship at the end of the season.
Yep. See you soon.
Thanks, Josh. Good night.
He left. I didn't even get a chance to move him. He
didn't
left.
even kick him out. Get out of my server.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Get out of here.
A great finish. I mean, we never quite got to green flag pit stops, but boy, we got close. We had some long green flag runs there, and that would have changed a lot of things. I think a lot of positions. Some of the guys, we always discuss that when we get to these super speedways, how pitting is very, very important, especially under green flag conditions. And it really, we've seen how, especially the leagues that like Saturday and Thursday, where that's all they run, we've seen how green flag pit stops really separates the field up a little bit.
Yeah, it was super cool how I don't know. I kind of like the cup physics.
Yeah,
it just changes Talladega up a little bit.
I
think that's what it is, because we're so used to the other thing. It's kind of predictable sometimes, but then I'm like, okay, yeah, right, we're cup now.
Well, you think about it. You had Javier Negron finish second, and in the cup physics, if he had been in the truck physics, he might have been able to pull out that run.
He'd win.
You know what I mean?
Win a race, yeah.
He might not have beat him to the line, but it would have been easier or better for that to possibly happen.
Yeah, you can set guys up like, you can almost get a slingshot going a little bit with the draft. Is a little bit more effective because there's no restrictor plate. It's a little bit. Is it less horsepower, but it ends up being more speed, or I don't know how that works.
It's less horsepower because of the restrictor. The truck series at that time, I believe they were running around 600 horsepower, where the cup cars running at that time they were running about 850. So when you put the restrictor plate on it and you bring it down pretty much to around 450 horsepower, which is still enough to push the car, but not enough. So the truck series at Talladega ends up with, at that time, with the most power, because eventually they even put not a restrictor plate, but a tapered spacer, and I still believe they still run that at every track with the Nationwide series to basically kind of slow them down a little bit.
Yeah, so it's slow them down.
You don't want, you look at it like there's three tiers in NASCAR racing. You have the truck series, which is kind of sort of considered the starter series. Then you have the, now called the O'Reilly series, Busch series. It'll always be the Busch series in my head. Yeah. Where you go, it's a little bit faster, a little bit more, and then you have your Cup series where you have the most power, and all of that stuff. But they really control it now. But the truck series, for a while there, because they're so much of it was like a brick. they didn't have a restrictor plate because they were pushing the truck through the air. It didn't need it.
Right.
And of course, you tell that to Jeffrey Bodine. It was a 3-car incident going through the tri-oval, and Jeffrey Bodine got airborne into the fence, barrel rolled down the short chute. This was at Daytona. The motor separated from the truck and went rolling off about 250 yards away. The only thing that was left of the truck was the 4-point roll cage around the driver. The back was gone, the front was gone. Unfortunately, he did sustain a little bit of damage from the incident, but recovered and went back racing, later on. Obviously had a little bit of a recovery time, but, so that was that kind of changed the way they started looking at safety with them. And I think now they're probably, I don't know if they're restricted, but there's, they probably have a restrictor plates on the truck as well.
Or if there's not plates, there's just like, physical body requirements or something, like steeper spoilers or bigger air dams or something to slow them down a bit. Who knows?
But they also, too, what used to happen back in the day was NASCAR, the Cup Series, would come up with a new brake package, for like Bristol or, Martinsville. It's tracks like that. And even different brake packages for the super speedways. And then, but you're talking new technology that it was always expensive, very costly. And so the truck series couldn't necessarily afford that. But what would happen is, as they went to something different, that would trickle down to the nationwide and then trickle down to the trucks. And then, of course, you had the high dollar trucks teams that were, just buying it, and whatnot. So they had to kind of you have to police yourself somehow, and that's what NASCAR has kind of done, because, racing is expensive, and if you keep building new cars and you've probably heard the old T-Rex story, right?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
So, where Hendrick got all of his guys together and said, I want you to build a car for the All-Star race, and I just want you guys to think of anything and everything, but stay within the rules. And they did. And the car was like a second faster than everybody else. They won the race. His crew chief at the time was Ray Ingraham, and he was brought into the NASCAR trailer afterwards, and Bill France said to him, I want you to pick up that phone and call your boss and tell him that car is illegal. And he said, no. He said, it's not illegal. He said, it passed tech. It follows every rules. And he goes, yep. And it won't tomorrow. They just did so much. They were going to have every team was going to have to build new race cars.
Right. Jeez. Imagine if he just evolved the sport with one race.
One car. It ran one race, and it did run other races if you follow the story behind it, but it never was competitive. So, like I said, the car was legal, but they did stuff like taking the floor and raising it up, and a bunch of stuff that was just different. And it really, if you listen to Ray Ingraham, it wasn't necessarily the car that all did it, but Ray Ingraham then took it out that it was junk. He put a modified setting up and it was sailing, and then from that point on, they were running the aerodynamic where the front of the car was so lightly sprung that it would just drop to the track.
Jeez. All the science involved in just doing every angle, eh?
Yep.
They're like, no, that's never going to happen again.
Now NASCAR owns, you buy the cars from NASCAR, you wreck the car, they buy it back.
Are the mics off?
Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. Hey, what's up, Ben?
Not much.
Yeah, we're just wrapping her up here. It was a good race, man. Awesome finish.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Mercurio drag race at the end again, which was pretty awesome. Well, it was the top 10 actually. Just like he reminded us last year how it was just a 2-car drag race to the finish, but this time it was 11 of them. So
looks much better with more cars racing to the finish.
Yeah. The no flags is cool. They just get to go for it. But,
yes, once we reach 5 to go, that's the point of no return.
Yeah. Put the flags away. We're only going to see white and checkers. But Yeah, to everybody who's watching this thing tonight, almost got 300 hits on this thing. What's going on? People must like what we're doing. And the good racing helps too. But as always, yeah, we're over the 3-hour mark on this broadcast, so let's wrap it up. Thanks to everybody involved, of course, Ben and his whole crew over at High Voltage, everybody who watched this thing live tonight, of course, all the drivers, all 60 or 58 or 60 of them that showed up to try to get into this thing, and the 40 that actually did the thing. And yeah, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.